Well, hello and welcome one more time to another very soothing, completely laser-focused, and not rambling at all podcast. Mythos podcast, to be specifically. Welcome back. I am Smiter Roscoe with my brother.
I'm Jingles Roscoe.
We're the Roscoe brothers, and just like last time, we're accompanied by our two guests.
They're not guests.
They're now. I guess they live with us now.
They're not allowed to leave.
They're not allowed to leave the. They're not allowed to leave the studio. Air quotes. With the great and illustrious Pie Man.
Yep, that's right. They clocked me over the head with a table leg again.
And the next time you try to escape, I'm gonna hit you harder.
I don't doubt it.
I hope you don't. I really hope this is a valuable lesson to you.
The crusted gash on my forehead is proof enough.
Yep. And I'm gonna let that one fester for a little bit. That way you really learn your lesson. And also, to accompany him, tied next to him on the chain gang via ankle, is Josh.
Hey, it's Josh. I live here now.
Yep. Josh, secret boss of the apartment.
Welcome to the rusty radiator.
Yeah.
Now remember, guys.
It keeps you warm.
You two need to alternate positions on the radiator, because otherwise one of you is going to get too cold, and you both want to make sure to share
Yeah,
that
it's like, it's really messed up. It only heats like one half.
Yeah, so you two got to figure out who gets to have the radiator at one time.
This winter's been harsh.
It's the warm corner.
So, to nobody's surprise, we're going to be talking about more nerdy stuff like we did last time, but to everyone's relief, we will not be talking about Star Wars today.
We'll try.
We will, yes, we will try.
I can't guarantee that Star Wars won't make it in somewhere.
Star Wars is everywhere.
Star Wars is in us.
Nobody's ever truly gone.
We're not going to talk about Queller and the dumb armor he wore that made him look like Emperor Zurg.
No.
Was that the guy? Was that the guy with the lightsabers coming out of his armor?
No.
No, yeah.
Oh, that was another
That's
fella.
a different dude.
That was someone else.
That was a whole nother dude with lasers coming out of
Yeah,
it.
don't be ridiculous.
All right, I'm sorry. So today's topic of discussion, as we will attempt to soothe you into it, is video games.
Yeah.
And the insanely huge topic that is video games. Specifically, we're going to be talking about our first experiences with video games, some of our earliest, more formative experiences with them, our favorite video game franchises, video games that we're playing now, ones that we feel are still really impactful to this day, and sort of where we're at with the zeitgeist of video games right now.
Even the poopy ones.
Especially those ones. We're going to be talking about the general perception of video games throughout the years, and it's just going to be this big general discussion, and I really hope people listening chime in on different parts that they're listening to and that they're enjoying. So, when I brought this up with Josh earlier in the week, he made a really, really good contribution to the discussion by actually submitting that, what if we talk about our earliest video game memories? And I think that that's sort of a good springboard to go off of. For me personally, I think my earliest video game memories, a lot of them come from the NES. And those were, like, even as I look fondly back on them, even those old controls, which were difficult to deal with, and now I'm reliving thanks to the Nintendo Switch Online account. By the way, Nintendo sponsor us. Anyway, they're totally not going to hear this. I remember the Karate Kid video game.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Yes!
Ew.
Yes!
I remember the Karate Kid video game.
It's not great. It's really not that great.
Well, a lot of games on the NES weren't very good.
Yeah.
They didn't know what video games were, and then suddenly video games started happening, and so they're like, we can make those, right?
Right.
That wouldn't be hard, and then it was really hard.
Mr. Miyamoto was all like, yo, what if he was a plumber? And they were like, cool. So is he just going to be doing plumbing the entire time of the game? And Mr. Miyamoto was like, no.
He wasn't
Plumbing,
always
what?
a plumber, though. He didn't start off as a plumber.
That's
No.
true.
He was a carpenter at first.
He was Mr. Jumpman before he was Mr.
Yeah.
Mario.
You're
Yeah.
just a dude.
Is just a hardworking guy trying to get his girlfriend back from his angry pet monkey.
That he abused?
Yes.
Yes.
And he's retired from being a plumber since.
Yes.
He's too busy saving his girlfriend to be able to do his job.
That's
Yeah.
right.
He's too busy being a hero. He can't plumb anymore.
Wait, are they married now? I can't remember.
No.
No.
They did not marry. Okay.
No.
It's weird because their relationship still seems kind of platonic as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Mickey Minnie situation.
Yeah, well, Mickey
But
and
Mickey
Minnie
and-
like make out all
Except,
the time.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
make out way more. They
They
do.
make hard makeouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they mac on each other all the time.
I actually, because it was Christmas time earlier this week, I went over, visited some family, and they had Disney Plus on, and we watched Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas
Oh my goodness.
from '97.
Has
Yeah.
it been that long?
It has been.
No,
Oh, man.
no.
It has been 22 years. I know it's 22
Wow.
years without needing to do the calculating because our sister's 22 years old and she was born in '97.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Um,
On the same day that Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas came out.
This,
Exactly.
this most hallowed of years.
She was birthed as the videos were coming out.
The shipment was made.
As the prophecies foretold.
Anyway, and that like Mickey and Minnie like hard make out like a few times.
Oh,
Yeah.
They had to cut away because of how steamy those scenes were.
Oh, jeez.
But
They were way braver with it back then.
Yes.
now, which one? There was a Mickey game that I remember on the SNES. That was
Mickey
also,
Mousecapades.
Was it Mouse? It wasn't Mousecapades. It was on the SNES, right? It was. You could play as Mickey and
Oh,
Minnie.
if it's SNES, then there was two different ones. There was like Magical Carnival, I believe.
I think
there was
we-
a Carnival one and another one. They were like made at around the same time. They played very similarly to each other. Were made by the same peoples.
I
Was
think,
it Apogee?
it was Data East.
Because I remember, I think it might have been the Carnival one that. I
Yeah, we
remember.
played the Carnival one.
Yeah.
Because they had different outfits that they would wear, and they would get different
Yeah.
abilities depending on the outfits.
Yeah.
There was like a yo-yo outfit, a cowboy outfit,
In case he wanted to be the yo-yo master.
but he would just keep yoing.
He would just keep yoing. So I remember Karate Kid, and
I remember it.
I don't even remember how I got exposed to it. I really don't. I don't remember if it was like over at a
Well, it was our
cousin's
brother's.
house.
It was our brother's nest.
It was our brother. Yeah. In that case, they must have rented it or something.
No, they owned the nest for a while.
No, the Karate Kid.
Oh, the Karate Kid. Yeah, I think they rented
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. But one that really changed it up for me wasn't even the first Super Mario Brothers.
Mm.
It was Super Mario Brothers 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an absolute polished masterpiece at the time.
That
Was
was
it-
the one that I was going to
Was
talk
it
about.
was it for the NES or was it the one on All Stars?
It was
the
All Stars.
it was
Good
the
guess.
All-Stars pack.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Because I was on the SNES. Yeah.
Yeah, we played predominantly the SNES because it was better in every way.
That's right.
And yeah, we owned All Stars. Not the one that included Super Mario World. We had Super Mario World separate from the All Stars pack,
That's right.
and that's
It was too
where-
big at the time.
It was too big. It was,
It was too
powerful.
big of a game.
You can't fit that many megs on that cartridge. Are you crazy?
No, man. How are you going to fit all those games in there?
That's too many games.
The cartridge itself was already full to bursting.
Yeah, you couldn't possibly shove any more in there.
So that was, I think that was our greatest exposure to Mario when we were growing up.
That was. We did play Mario World, but
Mhm.
we played a lot of Mario 3 the most. I don't know why we just gravitated to that one. It was the All Stars one. I don't think we ever actually played Mario 3 on the NES.
Right.
But there is a photograph that is deep in somebody's closet somewhere of us on the NES, and it has the TV screen. You can very clearly see Mario 3, and we're just sitting there, just like dorky little babies,
Mm-hmm.
just grinning, and it's all like Mario's the greatest game ever. Which is funny, because every time I watch Beethoven, the original Beethoven,
Oh, the one with the dog.
yeah, the dog.
Yes.
I'm not talking about that Ludwig von Beethoven movie. I mean, the big Saint Bernard
Yo, when is Beethoven and Beethoven going to have a crossover?
crossover event with Beethoven.
You were known for being a big fan of Amadeus when
Yes.
you were a little kid.
Amadeus. I don't really like Amadeus. Anyway,
Amadeus and Beethoven need to fight.
Yeah.
This old,
and
this old
I don't mean with music. This isn't a music battle.
No.
I mean, with like spikes and
Yeah.
like blood.
Like
Yeah.
like a knife fight.
Amadeus, like 50 years old, deaf, and musical prodigy.
Beethoven.
No, sorry, Beethoven. And then musical prodigy Amadeus comes in dabbing. Because let's face it,
he
if
would've dabbed.
Amadeus Mozart was born today,
Yeah.
he would be that kid.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, he would dab.
Yeah, he would.
He would be an
would
absolutely terrible person, and then he would not stop making hits.
definitely- Yes.
Just cranking out gold.
Yeah.
Anyway, on the Beethoven movie, they're also playing Mario Bros. 3. And every time I see it, I'm just all like, memories.
I actually remember watching The Wizard. Now that you got me thinking about Super Mario Brothers,
I never actually watched The Wizard.
I watched it once when I was a kid, and that's the movie where that one kid has the Nintendo Power Glove.
Oh, yeah.
And he's all like,
Power
"I
Glove.
love the Power Glove. It's so bad."
So bad.
And
I mean, it is.
and as
He
a
wasn't
kid,
wrong.
and as a kid, I loved the idea of the Nintendo National Championships. Or the World Championships.
Yeah, it was World
And there was the World Championships of Nintendo.
Because they did do that eventually.
They
Yeah.
did, and it was insane. And when I saw it for the first time in The Wizard, I thought it was spectacular. And it's like it still stands up there as like one of my favorite memories. Yes, the entire movie was designed to advertise Nintendo products to me.
Yeah, it was an hour and a half long commercial.
Yeah. But yes, I do admit that. But it was still one of those like very prominent memories for me.
Mhm.
And I'm actually going to pass it off to Josh and ask him what were some of the earliest memories of video games and what some of your earliest fondest memories of video games.
So it's kind of funny when you talk about the NES and SNES. I kind of missed out on those, but I didn't miss out necessarily on the games because I later on in life actually owned some of those games via the Game Boy Advance. Still probably the best handheld of all time, I'd say.
Whoa.
I don't disagree with that.
The Game
It's
Boy
really-
Advance is
really
amazing.
It's
good.
very
Yeah.
strong. I would say the only thing that came close to it might have been the PSP.
Yeah.
You're the only one.
The
that
only
thinks so.
that's fine. I'm cool with
Yeah,
that. I'm
alright,
cool with being
PSP,
the only
sure.
person because from actually putting in hours in the PSP. Sorry, please continue.
So my first console I have like memories of playing was the N64. That was the 64 was my jam. It still kind of is. I think the first game I remember ever playing was Diddy Kong Racing on it.
Oh,
Yeah, that was like the first game I remember like picking up.
It's like Mario Kart, but it's Donkey Kong.
legit,
Yeah.
legit. I liked Diddy Kong Racing. Like when I actually got to play it, I really liked it. It was all the parts in between the racing that had me hooked.
Yeah, it was really weird having that like hub world.
Yeah.
that you would go around in.
Yeah, yeah.
So your least favorite part about this racing game was the racing part of it?
I'm saying that like I'm one of those weird kids that was all like, you can drive around and explore. Look, it's like Donkey Kong 64, the exact
That-
same in scope and volume. But it wasn't.
It's 1-to-1.
It's 1-to-1.
Donkey Kong 64.
You don't like Donkey Kong 64?
It's not horrible, but it's just there's so much.
Why is there so much in
That
here?
the cartridge itself weighs more because of it.
Oh man, it's
Yeah.
weighted with knowledge.
That's why you needed the Rumble Pack, because the cartridge was too fat.
It's the only other game in the 64's library that requires the bigger RAM that you had to insert into
Really?
the
Yeah.
N64 in order to play it.
Wow.
That's why the game came with it. The only other game, of course, was Majora's Mask.
Yeah, they also had that bundle with it where you got like the Jungle Green like N64
Oh,
that came with the Rumble Pack and the game.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. And yeah, tagging alongside that, Majora's Mask was actually my very first Legend of Zelda game as well for the N64. And that game is a trip.
That is.
That is a trip.
As a kid, I didn't really understand it because, like, I only got so much of the scope of it. And now that I'm older and I can go back and I can reappreciate everything
Yeah.
and how eerie it is. When I was younger, I didn't get the whole like pervading feeling of death over
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Oh, it's dark.
It is dark,
It's
right?
an extremely grim game.
It's an extremely grim game. But like when I was younger, I was still just playing around. I'm like, when do I get to save a princess? Where's Ganondorf? And as my stupid child brain couldn't comprehend that this is a whole new separate adventure. Mind you, this was my first exposure to a Zelda game that didn't have Ganondorf or Zelda in it. So I had somehow completely skipped over Link's Awakening by this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my first Zelda game was Ocarina of Time. I didn't play the Zeldas that came before,
Right.
and I'm not a huge fan of them. I think they're good games, but like 2D Zeldas, I've never been super fond of. It's been the 3D ones that I've been more into. Which will get me hate on the internet, but I don't care.
I don't know. I'm a pretty big fan of both.
Yeah.
I'm down with both, really.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
how dare you straddle this middle distance and be reasonable? How dare
You
you?
have to take a position, a controversial position.
Yeah. We need more unreasonable takes in this podcast.
Why are we so reasonable in this podcast?
I am sick and tired of people not saying that Link's crossbow training was the best one in the
I'm
entire
tired of
series.
it.
No, Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors
Hyrule Warriors
is the best Zelda game ever made.
It's actually a lot of fun.
It is fun. But yeah, I also missed out similarly on Link's Awakening until it came back out on Switch.
Yeah, yeah.
I also, it's funny because like I feel like a lot of people, like especially around our age, like their first experience with Legend of Zelda was with Ocarina of Time. Like I feel like that was always kind of the norm, but I never actually owned a copy of Ocarina of Time. I still don't for the N64. I actually never played through it until it came out on 3DS.
Man, now you got me thinking. Like, because I don't think we did either, right?
No, we did.
We did?
Well, it was a long time before we owned our own N64. The N64 that we played the most
Yes.
belonged to our stepfather and his kids.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
And that's the one where we played like I'm trying to think of the Star Wars one. The
Not Shadows of the Empire.
No, the
No.
other one.
Pod racing?
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue
Was that on the N64?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking
barely
about the
remember that.
GameCube one, and I
Yeah.
was just like, that's not right.
Oh, Rogue Leader.
That's Rogue. Thank you. It's a Rogue Squadron versus Rogue Leader. We played that as well as Ocarina and Mario 64.
I think you're right. And
And it wasn't until we were much older that we actually had our own N64, and now we currently own 4.
Yeah, we have a lot of N64s.
Why do we have 4 of them?
So one of them was ours, another one was gifted, and I think the other one was just left here.
Yeah, and one of
Okay.
them's mine.
And one of
Okay.
them's his.
And one of them's his.
That works.
Yep.
So
We're planning on giving one to our sister at some point.
yeah. Yeah, and those things aren't going to die anytime soon. They're built like black boxes.
Yeah, but the controllers for them are hard to come by now.
Yeah, the controllers are the only things that have been deteriorating. The hardware itself
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the game console itself, we're totally fine still.
Don't people make new N64 controllers now?
I think so.
I think you can find them. There's also shops that'll refurbish the ones you have currently.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's great.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
handy.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and I guarantee that's the last time we're going to talk about Star Wars. I super
I
promise.
promise you.
And then the
fi-
Yu Zhan
can't-
Bong invade.
and then the Yu-Gi-Oh! So there's a guy that listened to that to the last episode of the podcast, and
Shout outs to our buddy Will
shout out
Holland,
to our buddy
Yeah.
Will Holland.
go listen to his podcast, which we are constantly guests on, called Conversations About ...
Very good podcast. You should definitely check out the wrestling episode too, because we also go nuts on that. However, Will was listening to the last episode of the Mythos podcast, and he was saying that he lost his mind when Josh brought up the Yu Zhan Bong.
He thought it was the greatest thing ever.
I'm so happy about that conversation.
It's so good.
I just love remembering all those old schlocky novels and all the dumb stuff in them.
Yes.
So much dumb stuff.
Yes. So, Pie Man,
Yeah.
in your long-lived eternity, this is your latest body that we're talking to right now.
Yes, my latest regeneration.
Yes. After your latest cycle, which was like some 80 years ago. So tell us about your earliest video game memories.
Yeah, tell us what it was like playing Pong on that NASA computer back in the 50s.
Oh, no. I didn't play that. I played the other NASA computer game. I can't remember what exactly it was called. No, my first video game was that thing where it was a light gun, and you put like a screen in front of your television.
Yeah.
It was that thing. That was my first video game. ColecoVision or something.
Yeah, ColecoVision. Yeah.
No. In reality, I think I also didn't really own a whole lot of consoles.
Sure.
Because I think my first actual gaming device was an OG Game Boy.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Those things let off radiation. They were so good.
Yeah. I still have it, and it still works.
Those things have survived bombings.
Yeah, they're basically Nokias.
Basically, yeah. Strong little things.
I played. That's where I played most of my Nintendo games. Was the Game Boy. I played Super Mario Land.
Yeah.
And Super Mario Land 2.
Yes.
6 golden coins.
Yep,
Six
it
golden
was.
coins.
It was a lot of golden coins. And I think my first Zelda game I played on that was Link's Awakening on the Game Boy.
Mm-hmm. Right on. So, don't you miss those days with the original Game Boy that you couldn't move your character too fast or else the screen would blur?
Well, any kind of motion at all, things would blur a little bit. I remember there was a Spider-Man game on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
That was hard to play.
Yes.
Because you're moving around and everything just becomes this green-brown blur.
Yes. But that was the best. That was the best back then.
And you couldn't play at night because there was no backlight.
No.
Backlight.
And then you could always... All right, how many of us, when we were playing for hours at a time, would eventually, like, cone their hands on the top of the Game Boy to see how much power you had left?
Because the power light would be so dim you couldn't tell.
You'd be all like, "Oh, I don't know." Then you put your hand over and look down on it, and if you see the faintest of reds glowing back at you, you're like, "Okay, I'm good.
I gotta make sure you save a lot, though.
Yeah, especially if you took that thing in the car with you.
Oh yeah,
that was just a guessing game all around.
Yeah. Who knows what could happen at that point?
Well, you couldn't play it if it was dark because obviously, like I said, no backlight. And when you're in the car, you can't have any lights anyway.
Right.
Because then your dad turns around and says, "We're all going to die if you turn the light on."
That's true. If you turn on the light while you're driving at night, you're gonna die.
This light is using up gas. You knock that off.
It's illegal. We'll get pulled over.
We'll get pulled over. There's so many excuses.
Oh man. So we got a lot of portable mileage when we were young because we would, like, especially during the summer, our mom would get all the boys together and we'd drive over back to California to visit the relatives.
Yes.
So we got a lot of road trip miles out of that. And there was one time in particular I remember one of our older brothers had a Game Boy and he had Pokemon Blue on it.
Yummy.
And he would periodically let me just like sit next to him and hover over him, and he'd occasionally let me play. And so when you're first getting exposed to the poison status in Pokemon,
Did you think you broke the game?
I thought I broke the game. I thought there was something wrong.
I thought I did something wrong too.
I thought I look over at my older brother. I'm like, "What's going on?" And he'd look down and he's like, "I don't know. What did you do?" And I was like, "I don't know." Ironically, I remember that part, like, at the risk of getting morbid kind of quickly. I remember that part because we also got into a car crash at that moment.
Well, I mean, that'll cement it in your mind.
Yeah, but I still remember, like, of the moments leading up to that fondly, and like even moments after the crash, where my brother, like, this is when I thought one of my many brothers, by the way, this one in particular, this is when he went from being a cool older brother to me to being a superhero in my brain. Because when we crashed, we were in a truck and it went over on its side, and there was a broken window underneath them, so it's just all broken glass. And I'm on his left, and I'm suspended in the air thanks to the belt, but I was quickly slipping out. So what he did is that he, with his right arm, he pushed down into the broken glass to support himself, and he used his left hand to push me back up. And he had to hold that there for I don't know how long, until eventually the paramedics came up, and I saw his arm afterwards. It's all gashed and stuff. And I was all, and I was super duper sad, and he was like, here, buddy. As they're like patching him back up, and he hands me the Game Boy with Pokemon Blue in it, and he hands it to me so that I don't feel bad, like as we're, collecting ourselves after the crash.
And the Game Boy survived the crash.
And the Game Boy survived the crash, and I played Blue all the way until we got back home.
And did you figure out you didn't break the game?
Not until later. It's like after a while. No, check it out. So like I'm still playing. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then suddenly it says on the screen, Squirtle has fainted.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh, I don't get it. And then it wasn't until later that I pieced it together. I was like, oh, the game is letting me know that I have a poisoned Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also thought I had glitched the game when I encountered my first poison.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone does.
Yeah.
I did too.
I had to ask my friend. I was like, "Did I do something? Is the game bugged? Did I glitch it out?"
Yeah.
It's like, "No, it's just poison. Don't worry about it."
No, stupid.
It took me a long time because anytime that I did get poisoned, I didn't know that that's what was going on, but I didn't figure it out because I would usually go to a Pokemon Center like fairly frequently
Yeah.
as a kid, so it would get cured, and I was just like, okay, I guess it stopped or whatever.
Pokemon Centers, fix this glitch.
Yes. This one weird trick to fix the glitch.
Pokemon Centers hate it.
No, they love it.
No. Poison types hate it.
He went into a Pokemon Center with his poison Pokemon. You won't believe what happened
Oh
next.
no! I was about to say.
Cops call.
I was like, don't go to a Pokemon Center at 3 a.m.
Cops called.
Yeah. Oh,
Gone wrong.
Don't fight
Real.
poison types until you learn this one weird trick.
yes.
And then before you get to that trick, you have to go over like the history of Nintendo.
That's
In
right.
like
right.
17 different slides.
Yeah, it's 17 slides with a paragraph each.
Man. Remember Nintendo Power?
I do. I never had a subscription, but one of my friends did, so I got to
Right.
read it quite a bit.
Just remember video game magazines
Yeah.
being our only access to anything video game related.
When we were young, we never had any video game magazines.
I think we had EGM.
We never owned one, but I still remember like going to convenience stores and like Safeway and Walmart
Yeah.
and telling my mom I'm gonna go to the magazines, and then I'd walk over and I'd start looking at Electronic Gaming Monthly and Nintendo Power.
I remember the thing I remember more fondly with EGM was like even more so than the like video game information and stuff was the Shu and Chan comic that was at the end of like each one, and there was like a huge overarching story like with those characters.
Yep.
Like with like month to month, so you also got like a comic strip with it.
Wow.
Did they ever release a collection for that?
I should look.
Right?
I don't know.
Right?
We'll probably look it up. It'll probably be there.
So earliest, I mean, you've sort of pointed quite a few out. I don't know if you had any more in the chamber, bro, for earliest video game
No,
memories.
it was
Just
it was,
piggybacking off of me.
Mario 3.
Mario 3.
Mario 3.
Mario 3. Also, Mario Kart was pretty early for me.
Yeah.
And
Super Mario Kart.
But, I think what was the console we spent the most time on? Like, as kids? I think it was the 64, right?
We played a lot of 64.
We also played a lot of Game Boy.
The most that we played the most easily was the PS2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Easily.
Now that I think
That
about
makes
it.
sense.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever play any Sega systems?
We never owned any Sega systems. We played because we had a buddy of ours that had the Sega systems.
And a cousin.
And a cousin, but we don't visit cousins. We only visit friends.
Yes.
Because all of our mom's family lives like states away, so we'd only get to visit them and play a little bit. it was our good buddy. Our mom was really good friends with his parents, and our families were close for a very long time.
Yeah.
And he had all of the consoles.
Yeah.
Not just like specific consoles. He had every console.
Oh,
Yes.
he was the guy.
He even had a Sega CD.
Ugh.
Really?
Yes, and he
Oh,
had a
man.
copy of Sonic CD, and
I think they even had a Dreamcast too.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty sure he had a Dreamcast. He had a lot of
Guys,
stuff.
nobody will let me play Skies of Arcadia.
I know.
Nobody cares about
Why
Skies
won't
of Arcadia.
Sega let us play Skies of Arcadia?
Why won't Sega? Why does Sega bring back Skies of Arcadia characters and not let me play Skies of Arcadia?
Just let me play Skies of Arcadia. But that's where we played the early Sonic games. I was never really a big fan of Sonic until Sonic Adventure 2 came out. And I was all like, oh, they got a bad Sonic now.
He's Sonic, but yeah.
And I've mentioned it to Smiter plenty of times, but my favorite characters in every piece of media ever is the good guy but bad.
Favorite superhero? Venom.
Favorite superhero? Venom.
Favorite Sonic character? Shadow.
Shadow. Was originally Knuckles, but then they made Shadow. Favorite DBZ character? Vegeta. It's very easy to point out. Favorite Pokemon? Raichu. These are not jokes, by the way. I'm serious.
Yeah.
These are my favorite characters. Vegeta is my favorite DBZ character. Used to be Piccolo.
Yes, that's right.
Really? It was Piccolo first?
It was Piccolo first.
That must have been before me, because I always remember you liking Vegeta best.
Yeah, well, it's because Vegeta was established by the time we met each other.
I guess that's true.
So you love your edgy anti-heroes.
Yeah, well, no. I like the bad guy that's equal to the hero, and then they become my absolute favorite if then they join the good guys team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if that happens, and I'm like, best character, hashtag, fight me.
So what consoles do you guys feel like you've spent the most time on? And Pyman, it's okay to say PC if it's PC.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
it would be PC, with a close second being PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I also played a lot of N64.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. And I assume it's got to be N64 for you too, right, Josh?
I think as far as just sheer amount of time spent, I'd actually probably say the Game Boy Advance. It's probably the most time I spent with it.
Okay. So what was pound for pound the game you spent the most time on the Advance?
Was it Harvest Moon?
No.
Oh.
We're gonna squish that bug right there.
That's tough.
Yeah.
It was Cubics racing robots.
Racing robots.
Shut up!
It was Sonic Spinball.
It was Grunty's Revenge.
Oh.
Wait, was that on the Advance?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, it was the banjo game on Game Boy Advance that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
It's that, and there was like a racing game for it also.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's a cross between either Pokemon Sapphire or Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Both very good
I'm
games.
still sad I haven't touched Superstar Saga yet.
Yeah.
I really want to, and everybody has been talking about how great it is.
Yeah. We'll have to get your hands on it.
Yeah.
It is a pretty great game.
I'm trying to think about the game we spent the most time on the PlayStation.
Oh, probably one of the Metal Gear Solid games. Probably 3.
Probably 3. Probably 3. That one, I got so much mileage out of that one.
I think I got so much mileage out of the Game Boy Advance specifically because I always recall back at one of my mom's older jobs, instead of hiring a babysitter, she would bring me and my brother with her, and we would just hang out in like the break room since the place she worked at was empty. And I remember always having my Game Boy Advance with me and just sitting in the corner of like the break room of that place, like playing it. And then when it was time to go home, we'd go.
Yep.
And I remember like even some of the workers at that place just knew me as that one weird kid that just hangs out in the corner.
And just plays his Game Boy.
It was the Game Boy Kid.
Yeah.
Do you guys got Pokemon Ruby?
And then when somebody comes into the break room, I melt into goo and seep into the floor cracks.
I was hoping you would screech it though. No context, just hey kid.
Get out of the break room! I'm playing Pokemon!
I'm playing Pokemon!
So I like to believe that it was probably MGS3 that we played the most, but if I really think about it, and if I'm completely honest, it's probably Budokai 3.
Oh, right, the Budokai series.
Hey, some of them were good.
No, they were. It's just so like, wow. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, Budokai 3. Budokai 3, we got so much mileage. We got enough mileage out of Budokai 3, and I think Pieman might actually remember this. We got enough mileage out of Budokai 3 that we thought we could do a tournament. And we did. We did a tournament at school. I personally put up the poster, which is lost to time.
I remember
Thank
it.
God. And I put out a general challenge of, who, you guys think you're strong enough? Well, try the Budokai 3 tournament that we're going to be doing here at school. And we set it up. It was just about, like, choose any character that you want. There were almost no rules to it.
There was no thought.
There was no thought, barely any rules put to it. And, like, a bunch of kids turned out.
Yeah,
a lot more than I was expecting.
Like a lot of our classmates showed up. It was like up in the upper teens, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And when they finally did show up, it was nuts. Because, first of all, I wasn't expecting a big enough turnout for that, but there was almost no supervision for it. There was, one teacher that would periodically poke his nose in the room every once in a while. But we were more or less left to our own devices. This was in middle school.
Yeah.
And the only thing
you were in middle school.
The only thing that Jingles and I set up for it, the only thing that we wanted ahead of time was that we were going to set up the brackets, and then Jingles and I demanded that we be set on opposite sides of the brackets.
Yes.
That is the only thing that we wanted.
This wasn't really a tournament. This was just a platform for your rivalry.
It kind of was.
Another thing that we said was, everybody has to choose a specific character.
Yeah.
And there's no repeats in
No.
Yeah, which shafted me.
Yeah. I think you got, Hercule or something.
No, I got Supreme Kai.
That's what you got.
I wanted Vegeta, but some other kid was like, I want Vegeta! And I was all like, okay, I'll go through the tournament as Hercule.
That's right, and you made a Dan out of everybody.
I did make a Dan out of everyone.
He went in with Hercule. He went in with the joke character and absolutely floored the rest of the competition. I got Goku because I was quick enough, and I was kind of the head of the tournament.
And you were running it.
I was running it. I was the man behind the scenes, except I wasn't. And it ended that, due to just like you said, Pie Man, just due to how it was a platform for our rivalry, we swept through everybody. And it was just the two of us there at the top of the tournament.
And after somebody didn't win with Vegeta, I was all like, cool, I'm going to be Vegeta now.
And so it was Goku versus Vegeta.
I'm pretty sure I turned to him like, this is how you play Vegeta, by the way. You haven't been Gallic gunning enough.
You pushed your glasses up.
Yep. And it was stupid. I still remember that as one of my favorite memories of playing video games with you, because it felt too perfect. Everything just fell right into place. It was how I wanted it to be, and Jingles and I for grand finals, and we went toe to toe, and it was a close one, and I managed to turn out on top with it.
He did.
And you won the huge prize pool of nothing.
We won bragging rights.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah, which I like to think is the truest commodity, the truest currency anywhere you go.
Even though you didn't brag about anything,
No.
which is good.
No, I didn't.
You were humble victors.
Yes.
We were.
Not me. I would have been bad.
Well, it's a good thing he beat you then.
That's right.
Yeah.
I had to eat that humble pie.
It was cool because we even had a projector and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had it all projected out and everything.
And
I'm pretty sure it was in the science room.
It
There
was
enough room for that.
It was.
It was in the back area of the science room where all the extra chairs and stuff get stored.
Yep.
I remember
Just shoved to one side.
I remember because at the time I had a girlfriend, and anytime that she wasn't competing, she got eliminated really early. When she wasn't,
I joke.
Was
Has
she-
she even played the game before?
Oh, probably not. She was just indulging me. But,
Okay.
so check it out. Anytime that she wasn't competing, she found one of the computers and downloaded Virtua Fighter on there.
Oh, okay.
And so periodically,
So what you're
in
saying is
between
she
my
had better
matches-
taste than you.
So basically, she had an actual fighting game pedigree behind it. And so anytime that, in between my matches and anytime that she wasn't competing, I would go over and we would play Virtual Fighter in between my sets.
You'd come over and she'd stomp you at Virtual Fighter.
Actually, she said I did really well, and I don't remember getting stomped hard.
Oh.
But it was like,
Still stomp nonetheless.
no. You don't know. You weren't there.
Or was I?
He
Where
was
were
saying
you?
that
Where were
the
you?
entire
You
time.
were you were in Manchester Middle School at the time, I think, right?
He
I'm
was
gonna
the
go ahead and censor the name of the school.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry.
he was running the server that the download came from.
The
Yeah.
the download came from, right? So
So he knew.
so just us individually, I know that we all develop different tastes over time. But what do you feel are some of your favorites or favorites in terms of video game franchises? Some of your favorite series out there. Me personally, it's almost always going to be Metal Gear Solid. Warts and all. It's got a lot of highs, it's got a lot of lows.
Got plenty of memes.
It got plenty of memes, which I feel like help sustain it and keep it around throughout the decades.
Memes provide longevity.
They do. They do.
You don't need a roadmap to constantly update your live service.
No.
What you need is memes.
What you need is somebody to come along and just make jokes about your product and continue that circulating.
The memes, Jack.
The
It's
memes,
gotta be the memes.
Jack. Memes, Jack. DNA of the soul. And ironically, Metal Gear Solid 2 really, really talked about memes. Like the whole game was about memes.
It was about memes.
Before memes really started taking off.
Mm-hmm.
Before
Well, it's because the current definition of memes is not
no, it's not the
is
same.
not the same of what memes actually are.
No.
Right.
No, well, nowadays, a meme is just a joke. If you tell a joke, that's a meme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty good meme.
It's
Pretty good
a
meme.
Pretty good meme.
Nice
Yeah.
dank meme.
What was it? Not funny, didn't laugh.
Man, how many years do you think it'll be in the future before comedians are on stage just browsing through Reddit on their phone and reading what they find?
Oh,
Here's my favorite Doge.
I can guarantee that's probably already happening. Nothing
I doubt it.
from anybody huge.
Probably like
But-
a slimy like comedy bunker somewhere in like New York or something.
Down
Yeah.
at the Chuckle Hut.
The Chuckle Hut,
Yeah, the Chuckle Hut.
oh
the
man.
Guffaw House.
The
Yeah.
Guffaw House.
On like a really slow night, they just get like a Redditor
Oh,
on stage.
a Reddit moderator or something.
He doesn't read anything. He's just looking at his phone, scrolling through, and then laughing periodically.
Yeah.
He doesn't even show
No, he
it.
doesn't.
Just stands on stage.
But yes, for me, it's always going to be Metal Gear Solid. Like, it's my favorite
Oh,
series.
sorry.
It-
Kingdom Hearts 2 is also one that we played a lot on the PS.
oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really, really
It's a
was.
good choice. You can sink a lot of hours into that game.
You
Yeah.
really can.
As far as RPGs go, that's probably the one we played the most,
I think you're right.
aside from the Pokemon games.
Right.
But that's not on PlayStation 2.
How long did you farm for Auriculum so you could make Ultima Weapon?
Kingdom Hearts 2,
Kingdom
it was
Hearts
a
2.
long time.
It took a little bit.
Well, we looked up a
went-
guide.
We looked up the guides. We had the book.
Yeah, the
strategy
physical guide.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's all like,
I know.
this is how anti-form works. This is,
Mm-hmm.
you get so many anti-points every time that you choose a form. And every time that you choose a form, once it gets to the certain threshold of anti-points that you have accumulated, there is a chance that you will go anti-form. After that you get final form, this was all explained in the book.
Yes.
After you get final form, every time you use final form, it takes away 10 anti-points.
Yeah.
So you'll never turn anti-sora when you're trying to get final form, and it takes away anti-points every time you use final form. So by the time you get final form, if you keep using final form like a smart person,
Yes.
you'll never turn into anti-sora again.
Yes. That was some real stuff.
Yeah, I have that guide. I'm pretty sure it was yours.
I'm pretty sure you have our guide.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
Give it back.
We've owned very few strategy guides over the years. The ones that we have looked at the most have been the Fire Red Leaf Green strategy guide
I love that one.
and the Kingdom Hearts 2.
Also, Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
Yes.
We did have that one.
Well, I didn't really consult it very much, but we did have it.
We did have it. I was pouring into that one because that's when I started really thinking about competitive Smash.
I'm gonna be technical. I'm gonna learn all of their weaknesses.
We're gonna learn it.
all of their
We're gonna
strengths.
learn
We're gonna
it.
practice it. There have been a few times in our lives when we're like, we're gonna get competitive with these video games and get good and go to tournaments and stuff like that. First one was Budokai 3, and then after we determined that it is in fact not a very sound and balanced fighting game, surprise, surprise, we moved on to Smash Bros. Brawl.
We did.
And that was a
The
big game for us.
most balanced fighting game ever created.
Of the entire Smash Bros. Series,
Yes.
we had terrible timing.
We are not good.
I don't know. You did okay at that tournament at that one con.
That's
we
right.
went
That's
to.
I was just about to bring that up. That one time we went to a tournament at a con. I had an absolute blast. Our little sister was there too.
You did good. You got like second place.
It was really intense.
Yeah.
I lost to Ike.
Yeah.
Everybody did.
Was it that guy who was dressed as the spirit?
No, it was. I think it was the guy that was dressed as Luffy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He was dressed as
that
Luffy.
Monkey D. Luffy. How I hate him.
Yeah, it's funny going back to what you were saying with like strategy guides and stuff. It's so crazy to think that none of those strategy guides were ever like official, and there were a lot that just had missing information.
Yeah.
It just didn't tell you everything.
Or completely wrong information.
Yeah.
Yep. Because it didn't matter, you could
yeah.
just make one.
Yeah, and
It's
then
Yeah,
the
anybody can
guide.
make one.
and then the rare ones, the very very rare official strategy guides.
There was a couple that
There
had
were
come out.
only so many.
Almost all
Yeah.
of them were made by Prima.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
they're still technically not even like official.
Oh yeah.
What was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other? There was another company that did them too.
Yeah.
There was Prima and.
Oh, there were a bunch.
There was
like
a bunch, yeah, but
yeah,
Prima
there
was
there
a big one.
a lot of them were the same companies that had those like cheat books that had cheats that just didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
have
it
one
was
of
a-
those somewhere.
Yeah, it was like a book of useless information.
It was Game Boy cheats.
Yeah, like the melee cheats where it's like play as like Toad or something in Smash Melee, and like how to unlock him, and it just doesn't exist.
Right.
Doesn't exist. There's no game data for that.
Right.
It's funny, even up to this day, like your Smash Ultimate guide that you got when that came out still has like mechanics in the game that the book doesn't even mention.
That's right. That's right. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I figured that there was going to be missing amounts of information, especially considering that it was a launch copy. Like, I figured that there was going to be a lot of stuff missing out of it.
The frame data that's in that book is wrong now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It actually is.
Yeah, and not to mention like the mechanics that were missing were mechanics that were there from day one.
Yeah. And, but here's the thing. I bought it almost entirely for my own satisfaction.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd get all that great a mileage out of it. I bought it because it reminded me of the Brawl one.
Yeah.
And I was all like, I just want to sort of go back and like, plus I wanted to see what stuff they had in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a few strategy guides in my time.
Yeah.
I had a strategy guide for Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness.
Whoa.
Nice.
I had one for Code Veronica X.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man, Code Veronica was such an interesting step because up till that, what was it? Up till that point, we still had pre-rendered backgrounds, right? And then
Yes.
that's when they introduced the dynamic camera.
Well, it was originally on the Dreamcast, I think.
Yeah. And
So they were like, yeah, let's do like real stuff.
yeah, and so that's when they started having the dynamic camera where it would pan a little bit. Not all the time. It would pan a little bit, and so they actually had to have 3D backgrounds and not pre-rendered visuals and stuff like that.
Looked good.
It did look good for the time. It did look very good for the time. But you know what looked way better? MGS2.
Yeah,
MGS2, every
looks
single
great.
time an MGS game has come out, the moment it comes out and is released, it almost always won a best visuals, best graphics award. And I think that's pretty nifty.
Did Phantom Pain win like a visuals award?
I think
I felt like it should have.
Because
Right,
I know for sure it. I'm pretty sure it won like a best story award for some reason.
well now I want
for some reason.
Oh,
Fair enough.
MGS5. That one almost personally for me, like, I don't want to say wounds me, but I have a lot of complicated feelings about it.
You know, I feel like if I didn't know the ending of MGS5, I would think it was still one of the best games ever.
Fair enough.
From a gameplay's perspective, I would agree. That's a
even
fun game to
story-wise.
play.
Oh yeah, it's got by far the best gameplay.
Yeah.
Out of, like, minute-to-minute gameplay when you're actually on the maps and stuff, and you're actually moving about. That's so far the best gameplay. Almost everything else has problems.
Yeah, I'm honestly not too fond of the story of that game.
No, like I said, if I didn't know the ending, I'd think the story was fantastic. Now that I know the ending, I think the story is mediocre.
Yeah. So for me personally, since MGS is my favorite series of all time, I could say MGS5 has got a ton of problems, but it's not by far the weakest entry in the entire series. The weakest entry was the mobile game. I don't know if any of you know about that one.
I don't.
There was an MGS4 rail shooter mobile game.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Yeah, right? It's not... It doesn't... Oh, please. It looks terrible.
It's worse than Portable Ops?
It's Portable Ops, like, if we're considering canon games, definitely the weakest in the series. Let's not forget, Portable Ops is technically canon.
It's technically canon.
No, but Ghost Babel.
Not canon.
Not canon.
Okay.
Not canon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Portable Ops, every time I look at it, it just screams non-canon, even though it is.
Even though it is. It had a lot...
There's some games like that, like Devil May Cry 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It screams non-canon, but it is canon.
Yeah.
But you can skip over it so much, it just doesn't matter if you play it.
Same with Portable Ops.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Devil May Cry 2, Power of Gun.
Power of Gun. It actually is Power
I
of
played
Gun.
through Devil May Cry 2, and boy, what a rocky ride that was.
Demonic helicopters.
You know, I think the worst thing about Devil May Cry 2 was that it was just boring. It's so boring. Because even from Devil May Cry 1, which was the most bare bones version of the Devil May Cry series up to that point, it was more boring than that.
Yeah.
They took all of your moveset variations and and double armed variations, and they just took all of that away. Everything is sword, and sword swings the exact same as all
No
other
matter
swords.
what, whether you have a regular sword or a great sword.
Yep. It's all the same.
It's all the same.
But why would you be using your sword anyway?
That's
When
right.
you have
When
gun
you have
power.
gun.
Yeah.
And it does so much.
It does so much. Holy cow, gun really did carry me throughout that playthrough.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you beat that game.
I somehow beat Dante's.
Shows that you're braver than Wooly.
Yeah,
So-
right? I was about to bring that up. Did you see that Max went through with it, though?
I did see
He was
the
doing the
clips.
same...
I didn't watch it, though.
He was doing the same thing that Pat and Wooly were doing, and that was, a legacy run all the way up to Devil May Cry 5. And Max, being the true hero that he was, didn't skip over DMC2. He actually played through it. He hated it, but he played through it.
Mm-hmm. If it's all good, I'll go ahead and say what my favorite video game franchise is.
please.
No, I don't care. I don't want to hear
Please.
it.
Okay, never mind.
Please.
You're-
It's only
Pardon?
one. It's only
Okay,
one
so-
of the most popular video game franchises ever to be
Pie Man,
made.
tell us about Warhammer.
Pie Man, tell us why not? Why not? Go ahead. No.
Well, I mean,
If we wanted to have
Bring your Warhammer to the table.
Okay.
Let's just put all the Warhammer pieces on the table.
so this is Gabriel Seth.
If we want to do like a Warhammer cast sometime, I think I wouldn't hate it.
We just need to leave Pieman alone in a room with a mic.
And so then the chapter master said,
Parman, tell us why Imperial Fists and
Iron Warriors.
and Iron Warriors are not friends.
Well, it's because the Imperial Fists like to build things, and the Iron Warriors want to tear them down.
Siege.
Fortify.
Anyway,
Yes, your favorite video.
my
game.
favorite video game franchise is the Zelda franchise, but not the 2D ones.
What?
That's intense.
I know. That's a hot take.
You mean...
I like the bad ones.
Oh no!
Everybody knows the 3D Zeldas are the bad ones.
They're
you
all-
mean A Link to the Past isn't your favorite Zelda game?
It's not.
What a terrible human being.
You're telling me
you
that...
guys want to hear a hot take?
What's your hot
You
take?
want me to admit something that'll get me crucified on Twitter?
Are you
Hit me
about
with
to?
it.
Are you? Well, you've already admitted that you love objectively terrible Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Sock it to me.
Go ahead.
I've never beaten A Link to the Past.
How could you call yourself a true Zelda fan?
Oh no! I killed them.
I feel nauseous. I feel betrayed.
And I am personally offended.
There you go.
Absolutely. No, I got into the series because of Ocarina of Time, and then I've just kind of been in and out of the series. I have since played all of the 3D ones. I have beaten all except, I believe, Skyward Sword. I haven't finished that one yet. The most I've played, and probably one of my favorites, is still Twilight Princess. But yeah, beaten.
But no, that one is stoopy poopy.
That one is stupid poopy. Yo, so there was this kid. Get this.
Yes.
For anybody that's listening that doesn't know, I helped moderate a Discord server for a buddy of ours named S Comic Maker.
Yes.
Shout out to S Comic Maker. I hope she comes on the podcast.
She's
sometime.
got fantastic art.
She's amazing and a great friend.
Yes.
There's a kid on there that was all like, "I'm playing through Twilight Princess and I hate it. This game sucks." And I was just like,
Oh no!
"Boy, no!" But I, as an adult, I have to hold my tongue for these kids sometimes.
As you're staring down from the high tower, going, "Kill him! Kill him now!
Kill him now! And it was just all like, the water temple is so aggravating and annoying, and I'm just all like, boy!
Yeah. Yeah. It's easily probably one of the most streamlined and most fun water temples they've had.
Up to that point, definitely. Like, Ocarina of Time's water temple is actually really difficult.
And you can absolutely be busted.
Yeah. Like, the water temple in Twilight Princess is, like, way more streamlined, way simpler.
Yeah.
Are you telling me they put colored paths down in the 3DS remake because it was hard?
Yes.
Oh.
So that you can know which way that you need to go in order to change the water level.
So this silly child.
Yeah. And it was just all like, he kept complaining about Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get that you don't like it, but objectively what you're saying is incorrect. Like, you're clearly just not good at this game. But I was just all like, yeah.
It was better on the GameCube.
I don't know about that. We
Yeah.
played it on Wii.
We played the Wii version.
No, the
like
Wii version's
crazy
fine.
Yeah.
You don't
I
have,
liked it better on the GameCube.
Yeah, because on GameCube you don't have to waggle to fight.
people. But I like waggling.
We want to waggle to fight.
I like waggling a lot.
That being said, we still haven't played Skyward Sword, which is maximum waggle.
It's actually not waggle. It's a lot simple. It's more swing with more precision than
yeah.
waggle.
Yeah, you
It's-
put the extra waggle attachment onto your Wiimote.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's why you see Link.
I would call it like frustratingly precise.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
The biggest reason why we never ended up playing Skyward Sword is because we got like a second generation or first generation Wii, and we got Twilight Princess like as it came out, and we never really upgraded to Wii Motion Plus,
Yeah.
and so that's like the biggest reason why. Now that we've moved in together with Josh, and he has Wii Motion Plus and he has Skyward Sword, I played it a little bit, but I haven't gotten very far in it because I have adult things that need to be done.
Sure.
For
Sure.
I am big adult man now.
But that's why we had a Link, a very special Link that would charge at his opponents head on with shield forward and sword really up high.
Yes.
Because you need to get that swing ready, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love.
Oh, that's another thing. He said like Skyward Sword was like one of his favorite ones.
Oh, are you?
Wait, so he loves Skyward Sword, but he doesn't like Twilight Princess.
Yeah, it's all like he was annoyed that he had to go through Twilight Princess, and I was just all like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go."
What was forcing him to go through Twilight Princess?
Himself?
Oh,
I assume.
I don't know. Maybe he was doing it for the gram. Maybe he was doing it for...
Do it for the gram.
Do it for the gram.
Oh, and
maybe he was trying to get 6 subs and subscribes.
And then I had mentioned that because he started playing Wind Waker HD.
No,
and he was doing he was having fun just kind of glitching and stuff.
Yeah,
just like speedrunning tactics.
Yeah,
and I was all like, oh yeah, I was watching some speedruns. That's a really fun game to watch speedrun. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna start live streaming right now and start speedrunning. You can watch, and send me links like every time. And I was just all like,
I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Busy right now, and I told him, I was all like, sorry, I'm kind of busy right now. I can't really watch. He's like, okay. And in the back of my mind, it's all like, and also, I don't want to watch you play this game.
You don't like Twilight Princess. I don't like you.
Well, hopefully this guy isn't listening.
Yeah.
Unlikely.
Are you ripping on someone? Are you going to dox him right now?
I didn't say his name.
I know.
Did not say his name.
All right, who else can we bring into this? Who else can we bully?
Who else can we fight?
I could bully so many people. Anyway, yeah, that's just a little bit of a tangent there, but I love the Zelda series.
Yeah.
I love the 3D Zeldas. I don't hate the 2D Zeldas. I've just never really beaten any of them.
So, how do you feel about Breath of the Wild?
Breath of the Wild is amazing.
It's pretty great, right?
Yep.
I didn't know if... I remember you and I were talking about it, and you were like, I really, really like it. It's definitely not one of your favorites.
Yeah. I've determined that, like... I don't know what it is about it. It's probably the level of freedom that it gives me. Or something. Which is weird. Because everybody's all like, in Zelda, we're tired of all the game always telling us where to go. Always being like, you gotta go do this, you gotta go do this.
That's linear narrative or something, yeah.
And you gotta do this, this, and this. And there's a helpful person that comes out of your sword. It's all like, hey, you've been playing for a long time. Should you nap? We're tired of this. And then, Breath of the Wild came out and everybody's all like, just go. Play, have fun.
Look, guys, open world sandbox game.
And
first one of its kind.
Which I think is great and it's amazing, but I honestly call me weird, but I kind of like when the game is all like, okay, now go do that. I don't like it when it's being annoying about it.
Sometimes you want to be told a story.
And here's another thing. Another hot take. You guys ready for more hot takes?
I sure am.
Are you ready for me to die online because people are like, you're dumb and stupid? Here's a hot take. I've never hated Navi.
No, Navi's not really that annoying.
I would actually agree.
At this point.
Yeah.
I've never found Navi that annoying.
See, my opinion is Fi from Skyward Sword. She is what people think Navi is.
Yeah.
And that one kid loves that.
Yeah. That one kid loves it.
Navi isn't that bad, but Fi actually brings your game to a full halt just to tell you a piece of information you don't need to know.
That's right.
And you have to stop.
You have to stop and listen to her.
Hey, Lonk, do you want to know how to fight Dodongos?
Yeah.
That's
I'm going to tell you anyway.
Yeah.
That being said, still one of my absolute favorite characters in all of the Zelda franchise is Midna.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She stole your heart right away.
She's a short stack character, which automatically
well,
makes me go,
until we fix the mirror.
Until we realized she was whamming the whole time.
I'm just like, okay. Can I get the short stack anyway? No? Okay.
She goes, no, go away, Link. Now I break mirror again.
Now I break mirror again. This time, break it for realsies.
For me, I think she definitely ties with best tag-along character alongside Ezlo, the talking hat.
I was about to ask you about him.
Once again, that's a 2D Zelda game, so I think it's objectively trash and I hate it. I played a little bit of Minish Cap and it was a lot of fun, but I never beat it.
Yeah, but your hat is a grumpy old man that yells at you.
I was about to say, so we've got Midna, who will coyly sort of tease you They're like, oh, I guess you could only defeat 3 Wolfos. Okay. Versus your hat, which, like as you described, he's actually a grumpy old man, right?
Yeah.
Where he's all like, oh, Link, we need to get to the next town. I gotta sit down.
I'm feeling winded.
It's like, all right, I guess it's time to go to the next dungeon. He's like, spot on.
You spawn!
Spot on.
I like the idea of him because like I've seen his animations where he'll squawk,
Yeah.
and his mouth is going, and it's like he's sort of tilted up towards the camera. I wanted it to go full end over end where it swoops up like right in front of Link's face,
Yeah.
and he squawks at him.
There is some like promotional art of that.
That's
where he's like
awesome.
holding the hat and it's like screaming in his face.
Yeah.
Spawn Link!
Sorry, there is one 3D Zelda game that I did in fact beat, and that was Phantom Hourglass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I beat that one. And
That
that
was
was
a-
fun.
That was the one
good.
where we got the steamboat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, 2D Zelda game.
Yeah.
It's technically a 2D Zelda game, even though
Yeah.
it's rendered in 3D.
Yeah.
And now,
Or as some would put it, 2.5D.
yeah.
2.5D.
And now I watched Smiter beat Link's Awakening. I have seen the ending of Link's Awakening before. I think
Yeah.
I watched you play it a few times. So,
That game's weird. It ends with you awakening as a Thoth.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Awakening of
The
Azathoth.
dreams end.
As reality just ceases to be because he's no longer dreaming.
Yes.
We've made the joke so many times that, like, as the island is disappearing, people need to be running and screaming as they're slowly turning to
As
dust.
they don't fully comprehend the fact that their existence is ending.
Yes.
Because the boy in green woke up the windfish.
Oh, hey, so speaking of Eldritch horrors, I know a while ago Josh was telling me that one of his favorite games is Bloodborne, so I'm going to pass it off to him. And
But I'm not done yet.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
okay.
No.
But before we move on, did you ever play the Oracle games for Legend of Zelda?
I did not. I wanted to, but I mean,
I
the
played...
sages in that are pretty neat.
That game's really
They are
neat.
pretty
Yeah.
neat.
I like Din a lot.
So what's your favorite franchise or series, Josh?
That's actually kind of tough.
That's fair.
Because like I've always looked at more individual games rather than franchises as a whole.
Sure.
Because like one of my favorites is like Banjo-Kazooie, but that's not really much of a franchise.
No, that's fair.
It's 2 games and no others.
So
No
I
other
mean,
games.
Ever.
Yeah.
at the risk of breaking the mold, big air quotes here. Like, all right. So, what are some of your favorite video games? Period.
Well, you mentioned Bloodborne. I
Yeah.
think because I really love like the Souls series just in general, including like a lot of the Souls likes around it.
Yeah.
So I guess as a franchise, I really like that. But I think Bloodborne is easily like my favorite out of those.
Nice. So if you had to, not in any specific order, you know, like this is greater than this one. What are like your personal like top 3, top 4, whatever you feel like throwing out, like some of your top favorite? Because like there's Banjo-Kazooie,
Yeah, I would put.
or is it Banjo-Tooie?
No, it's Kazooie.
Okay. So Banjo-Kazooie, Bloodborne.
Wind Waker would be one of them too. I really like Wind Waker,
Wind
like
Waker's-
specifically.
Wind Waker's so good.
He's such a sassy Link. He's so sassy.
I also really like MGS3. Like
Yeah.
I really like the MGS series. Like I think you're still probably the biggest fan of it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's gonna beat you on that.
I wouldn't fight him for
It's
that
because
battle.
anytime anybody gets close, I put my fists up.
Yeah, like so. Yeah, I do also really like the MGS franchise.
Yeah. Gosh.
Like specifically 3.
3 is very strong.
3 is so
And
good.
so is
Yeah.
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker's also
Yeah.
And so is Bloodborne.
So yeah, I guess for series as a whole, like definitely the Souls series. I'd say most of like the Legend of Zelda series.
Yeah.
Where does Demon Souls fit on the?
Where
on
does
the
Dark
ranking
Souls
for you?
2 go on all of that?
I don't know, below Bloodborne.
Way below Bloodborne. So are you telling me that the best thing they could have done for the Souls series is give you a gun?
Yeah. Yeah. It actually is.
Show the power of gun.
I remember when I started poking my nose in on that, Josh. You were telling me about how because you saw me playing a little bit of Dark Souls, and you were saying you were like I figured you probably like that, but you probably would actually like Bloodborne a bit more, and that was because you were telling me about just how different it is.
Yeah.
How it's much more encourages a much more aggressive play style, and I believe you even said that. Because of that aggressive play style, it sort of supports more character action sensibilities.
Yeah.
Do combo.
Do combo.
Yeah, you do combo.
You do combo. So, like, I could totally get for me, I figured out how to stagger common enemies and stuff, and wait for the right time to swing and stuff, and just test which attacks are going to do that.
Yeah.
I still have no idea how to stagger bosses. Is it just a damage threshold? What is that?
Sometimes it is kind of a damage threshold. I don't think all bosses necessarily do it.
Fair enough.
Some do it, other like cleric beasts do, but a lot of others actually don't really.
Yeah.
And then there's others where like if you have like a big, heavy, staggering weapon, like smaller like bosses like Shadow of Yharnam and stuff, like you can kind of stagger them if you have a big enough weapon.
Cool.
So it kind of depends on who you're fighting.
All right. No, I like that.
Yeah.
Especially if it backs up with some sort of sensibility. I know that there's Dark Beast Parl, and you can stagger him to make it that he never manages to get off his lightning.
Yeah. You have to be really on point to do it. But
yeah. I loved it.
I think the biggest thing that I actually do think that having the guns is an improvement is the idea that you can parry at a safe distance.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, because you'll shoot and then you'll open the... Like, as long as they're about to pull off a specific attack from their moveset, you'll stagger them and then you can go in for a visceral attack.
Yeah.
Which is a great
Yeah,
thing.
it actually is really nice that you can do it while still kind of remaining outside of their attack range.
Yeah, exactly. So, Pieman.
Yes?
Some of your favorite video game series.
The old Warcraft RTSs were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Successing you. Oh no, succeeding you.
Father.
Big betrays.
Those pre-rendered scenes in Warcraft 3 were amazing.
Yeah.
But Pieman, it's all really bright and colorful. Aren't those games for babies?
Yeah, it's too cartoony. I can't take it seriously. Yeah, I always loved that. People said that kind of thing. Riven, the sequel to Myst.
Whoa.
Ooh, yeah.
Whoa.
It had like five discs, so once you got to a different part of the game, you had to put in different discs.
Really?
Yeah, it was nuts.
That's nuts.
It was awesome.
Speaking of discs, when it came onto like the PlayStation and stuff, and like for me, my earliest exposure to changing discs was Metal Gear Solid 1. And I thought it was, at the time, like massive. The idea of this game is so big it requires 2 discs.
No, yeah, that's a forbidden technique.
It is.
Switching the disc in the middle of the game?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Or like like MGS1. For me, it was Final Fantasy VII having the 3 discs.
So, specifically that one.
Yeah.
Going from 2 discs to 3 discs, I thought it was too much.
Yeah. And I guess that's also another franchise I could put on, as I really like Final Fantasy.
Oh, yeah. I wish I could have dipped more into it as I was growing up, but
It's a time investment.
it really is.
I had a friend in grade school who had every single Final Fantasy, at least up to that date.
Sure.
Yeah, he's a big Final Fantasy buff.
So
I wish I got into Final Fantasy, and I've tried getting in, and I lose interest in after a while. I feel like a lot of JRPGs are like there's a lot there, but usually they just have difficulties gripping me for long periods of time that I just get bored and do something else, with a very few exceptions, with like Kingdom Hearts being one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is really good at making something like that like easy and accessible to like get into.
Yeah.
Not to figure out, but to get into at least. Like, it's good at getting you invested.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
What, you didn't like managing your AUGS units in Xenosaga?
Oh, dude!
Or figuring out your junction system in 8. Or
Dude.
Final Fantasy 8.
Dude, so I remember Pine Man loaning us Xenosaga, and like we played through a little bit of the first one, probably got an hour in, and we just got tired of it.
No, it hits you with so much all at once.
It really does, and the most frustrating part is that another buddy of ours who had the same game and was going through it, he and his parents would all play together, and they're so far in the game, and there's like really neat little character interactions going on. So, and I'm thinking to myself, when Pie Man loans it to us, I'm excited to get to those points, but we never got to those points.
No, it takes a while. That's a long game.
And the worst part is that it was just those opening dungeons where, because I thought it was neat that you can actually see your enemies and stuff, but we're talking there's about 3 rooms in the entire dungeon and then the boss fight. And between all 3 of those rooms, there's about 5 enemies. So we're talking some heavy grinding right there at the beginning, and it completely lost me. It felt like a wall right from the
It's a big
get.
thing for me with JRPGs. If there's a lot of grinding that needs to happen, like, I can't get into it.
Yeah, I get it if it's like in the late game, but in the early game, it feels way too much like a labor to go through.
Yeah.
You don't like slogging through your games?
No, I sorry. Sometimes I just get tired of sitting there and waiting for numbers to go up.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Pam, I didn't mean to rail off on a tangent.
Star Trek Voyager Elite Forces.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was built on the Unreal 3 engine.
Whoa.
That sounds right.
I loved that game so much.
Walk me through that one.
So you play the Elite Forces as part of the Elite Forces team on the Voyager as Ensign Monroe, and you go through all kinds of wild derelict spaceships fighting aliens, and it's great.
But I thought we were supposed to be exploring and meeting new life.
Yeah, well, this is
But
on the Unreal Engine.
So
We're
I'm
shooting stuff now.
We're shooting.
I'm also assuming you answered to war criminal Captain Janeway.
You did.
Known war criminal Captain Janeway?
There's actually a level where you go through this weird alien spaceship, and the aliens pop up and attack you, and you kill a bunch of them, and at the end, you're like, oh, they weren't attacking us. They were trying to help.
Oh.
And they're like, yeah, we were just trying to help you the whole time. But it turns out you didn't actually kill any of them because they have advanced life support systems that beam them directly into a med bay and fix them. So you didn't actually kill any of them.
You didn't actually commit war crimes.
Yeah.
You can see the parachutes.
that is called mastering the back down.
Yeah, it really is.
That was truly a masterful back down technique.
That was one of the best back downs I think I've ever heard.
So, Myst, and the sequel one you mentioned.
Yes.
So, if I remember correctly, Myst is like this sort of first-person exploration game, right?
Yeah, it's an exploration and sort of like it's kind of like a point-and-click game.
Okay.
It's the greatest game ever made.
It's like find stuff, put stuff in things, solve puzzles after you put things in things.
That was the game that also had the early versions of it had a glitch that destroyed your computer by wiping your C drive.
No way!
Good stuff.
I don't
That's
remember that.
awesome!
Yeah, apparently, I heard it. I heard it was Myst. Yeah, it was like one. It was. Yeah, I think it was that where there was like really early versions of the game that had a glitch that would do that, and there was like some kind of workaround people figured out.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's called not playing the game.
It sounds dangerous. I never experienced that, thankfully.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Man, but can you imagine? That's awful.
Can you imagine how many megs of data you would have lost?
Yeah.
All gone.
Oh, God.
All gone. It's going to take you like years to get all that information back.
Oh, no.
Oh man, we got to do a desktop recovery.
And now we have to wait for the script for all the green and black data to run its course so we can actually access this thing.
The matrix digits.
You remember when computers used to sound like this?
I do.
Or like that very soft, very low typewriter sound on your computer for when data was showing up. That was nuts.
I always loved opening command prompts and then putting in a floppy disk and then mounting the disk and then
mounting disks.
starting the executable on the disk via the command prompt.
Absolutely.
Because then you felt like a hacker.
Kinda.
Hack
Well,
the world.
actually, at that point you didn't, because that was just how computers work.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's just how they work.
That's right.
You had to be born a hacker.
Yeah,
So, obviously, panning over some of our favorite video games that we feel like are quality products. What are some of our favorite video games that are abysmal products? That are actually terribly, shoddily made video games?
Oh,
that we still like a lot.
That we still love.
Jet Force Gemini.
You like I thought that was a joke. I didn't know you actually liked Jet Force Gemini.
No, I like it. It's a terrible game, but I like it.
I remember playing it again recently, thanks to your copy, and oh boy, that thing is hard to control.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Also, here's the crazy part. I was doing that first part where you're actually on the planet shooting bugs and stuff.
Yeah.
It actually somehow, despite the fact it's the first level, feels difficult to navigate.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to lose where you're going because everything looks the same.
Yeah, I think what it was more than anything was the multiplayer. Like, if you could get the game, if you can somehow wrap your head around the Galaxy Brain controls, it's the multi. I remember the multiplayer was a lot of fun.
I don't even remember that one. That sounds intense. I don't know if I want that, man.
Yeah.
I barely survived Bloodborne.
Yeah, no, it's not a good game, but I enjoy some of the things it does.
Right.
For me, it was Shadow the Hedgehog.
The Hodgehedge?
Yeah, it's a good pick.
Easily, Shadow the Hedgehog is one of my favorite awful games ever, and I legitimately enjoy it. And I wouldn't mind putting it in again and playing it again.
Is this who you are?
This is who I am.
Shadow. That was Sean Jamal.
That was Sean Jamal.
That was Goku.
That was Goku. Goku's voice actor did that.
Yeah.
He's actually got like a crazy good range, but people don't know that because they only hear Goku.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Shadow the Hedgehog. That's pretty straightforward. The game worked for me all along. People have had like problems with it.
Ours somehow didn't crash.
Yeah, ours is fine. Ours is a totally fine copy. We own it on the PS2.
Which apparently I heard later on is actually the worst version of it.
Yeah. Out of the two versions, one has to be the worst
one. Has to be the worst one.
Well, what other system was it on?
I believe the GameCube.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
could be wrong.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I played it and
I
enjoy it.
I remember us being actually really hyped when it was announced.
You guys
Yes,
were.
I
I
was really,
remember.
Yes.
I remember that.
We're like, you gotta play as Shadow!
Just Shadow, only Shadow, no Sonic. Don't think about Sonic.
And then they gave him a Glock 45.
And you could ride an ATV.
Yeah, you can. And a motorcycle. And blast, I am all of me.
While shooting your gun.
Ow, the edge.
I am all I am, all I am.
I remember you.
So it doesn't have Sonic, but counterpoint, you get a gun and it's sick.
That's the big lie. Sonic is in the
Yeah, I was
game. You
gonna
just
say,
don't play
he's
as him.
totally
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah.
Even multiplayer mode, you just play as other Shadows.
Yeah, he has to show up so Shadow can kill him.
That's right. Which you can actually totally dedicate to.
One of the endings is you just
You kill Sonic.
you kill Sonic and you also kill the
Like,
general guy that doesn't like you
Yeah.
because he thinks that you killed Maria.
So here's the interesting thing. It's like 16 endings? It's a lot.
Pretty close to that.
It's like some 16 endings and only one of them is canon. And
Yeah.
the only way to unlock the true canon ending is you have to play the game enough to do all 16 endings.
You mean
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
that's-
Drakengard where all of the endings are canon?
yeah, exactly.
Simultaneously, yeah.
I don't like Drakengard. But yeah.
Yeah,
Shadow
be
the
careful, otherwise you fall into a trap and one of those endings takes you to a Japanese radio play.
That's right.
Ah.
But yeah, I beat it. I got all 16 endings, and then I got the final ending. It's pretty fun.
Because you become Super Shadow and you just save the world.
Any opportunity to become Super Shadow is a good opportunity for me.
I don't think I ever got the good ending when I played it.
Hardly anybody felt it was worth going through it that many times. When I was younger, I didn't feel like it was important to do it that many times. It was about 5 years ago when I found it and picked it up again. I was like, you know what? I'm going to beat it all the times. And then I did.
And there you have it.
It's not worth it.
In hindsight, I wasted all that time.
You mean it's not worth playing Shadow the Hedgehog 16 times in a row?
Not in a row. You could come back and play it again later. Although, most people would just be like, don't play it, it's a bad game. It's not really a bad game. The story is trash. And gameplay-wise, it's fine.
It moves like molasses, but
not the way I played it.
Yeah.
I love Shadow the Hedgehog. It's a bad game.
It's not great. What about you, Pie-Man?
Oh boy. So there was an Itchy and Scratchy game on the SNES.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember it.
oh, man.
I had a lot of fun with that. Although in hindsight, it wasn't very good.
Sure.
Like not at all.
Not at all.
But it was sort of a fun, blow a couple hours in an afternoon with your buddies kind of game.
Sure.
I think for maybe a more recent
Yes.
piece,
Please.
we'll just make that go away. For a more recent game, there was a Van Helsing game on the PlayStation 2.
Oh my goodness!
Was
I
there?
never
Yes,
played that.
I
Yes.
did play that.
The
I
movie,
did play
the
that.
movie with Hugh.
Yep.
That there was a video game tie-in. This was back when they were still doing movie tie-in games.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I remember enjoying it a fair amount, even though it's just licensed schlock.
It is.
Sure. And there's only a few rare gems of those out there. That's it. That's insane because I remember playing it, and now looking back on it in hindsight, I see it trying to echo Devil May Cry a little bit.
Yeah.
In that you have your melee weapons and your guns, which are infinite ammo and are meant to complement the combo that you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you picked up all kinds of different weapons as you went along.
Yeah.
Yep.
There were
Yeah.
several levels that I remember being insufferably difficult.
Yes.
I remember the Igor boss fight.
Yeah, that sucks. I hate that.
It's bad.
It's very bad.
It's very bad.
So for me, it's almost a constantly shifting thing, but I think right now for me it's probably got to be Shadows of the Empire.
But you said you hated that game
Exactly.
in the last
Yeah.
podcast
It's
episode.
rough. It's rough. That's why I said it's a constantly shifting thing.
It's a okay.
Yeah.
It's
There's-
like the Force. It's constantly moving.
It's constantly moving. It lives in us. It penetrates. No, it's... And I would say that I am grateful for my recent re-exposure to it. Thanks to Josh's copy of it. And, boy, those controls are rough. So, it has a fantastic opener. Can we all agree that opener, when you're actually flying the snow
Flying
speeder,
in Hoth,
flying on Hoth, is good.
I'll say that. That
Yeah.
part right
it
there
draws
was
you
great.
in,
It's solid, right?
At the same time, though, it kind of fools you into thinking that the game is Rogue Squadron.
and then
Yes,
just
it
dumps
does.
on your face.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's strong, and then the rest of it just sort of slips along on Dash Rendar's slippy boots throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And I think even when I was playing it I just remembered the song that keeps playing throughout the entirety of that. It only
Yeah.
has one track.
One track.
Doom, doo 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 doo. It's the same one every single level.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're fighting Boba Fett. It doesn't matter if you're fighting the AT-ST, which, by the way, was an impressive display for me. When
I
I
thought
was
that was
first
really cool when
Yeah.
I was a kid.
When I was a kid, I couldn't wrap my head around it because those things looked invincible to me.
supposed to defeat AT-ST?
Mind you, I'm looking at it even after the perspective of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
When they got bodied by logs. It
Yeah.
was still an intimidating prospect for me. But as it stands right now, it's probably my favorite bad video game right now.
Have you
Right
played
now.
Dark Forces 2?
I can't even remember Dark Forces.
He
2.
has not played.
No,
I don't think I played
I
it.
guarantee you haven't.
Yeah. Otherwise, that would be on
I
my
own
top.
Dark Forces 2.
Oh,
I own the Dark Forces series.
well,
Yeah.
excellent. I
Wow.
think.
So, how rough was Dark Forces 2? Walk me through
I've
that.
never really played it.
Oh, yeah?
It's where Kyle Katarn comes from.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or,
So-
I mean,
Yeah.
technically he doesn't come from that, but that was his first video game appearance, I think.
Also,
I think it was Dark
How
Forces 1.
It's
confusing...
Dark Forces 1.
Oh,
How
yeah.
confusing is that series? Because I know you broke it down for me.
The
really-
naming conventions
it-
are the worst part of it.
That's what
Well,
I'm
it's the
saying.
naming conventions, namely, but the story still is like pretty linear.
No, yeah, that's specifically what I mean. Like, the titles of it are confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really just extends to the titles of the games, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. See, and I think you broke it down for me recently, and it was like, what? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1?
Something like that. It was like Dark Forces 2, Dark Forces Mysteries of the Sith, and then it was Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast,
Yep.
and then Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy.
Yeah, there is no
Yeah.
Jedi Knight 1, is there?
No.
Why?
I always forget that it's not a
That's
sequel to anything.
I feel like it was a subtitle for one of the other games.
Could have been.
Maybe.
I couldn't say. I
Who
couldn't say
knows?
yay.
I'm
or
sure I'll
nay.
look it up and put it on screen.
Yeah or nay about
If
that.
you're watching the video version of this on YouTube,
If you watch that YouTube video,
It's
you
incredibly
get all of our
tiring.
references.
Right. So, as video games are presently, given our incredible pedigree over the years. Oh,
did Josh give his
I
favorite
thought-
bad game?
I thought he
Yeah,
did.
Jet Force Gemini.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention. I'm watching these waveforms on my screen right now, and I'm just like, these are mesmerizing. This is my favorite bad video game now.
No, my favorite bad video game has got to be the screensaver for Windows that was like
Yes,
a maze.
the maze,
Yes.
yes.
You could pretend you were playing it. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, it's the rat. Oh, now we flip upside down.
Oh. And now
That was my favorite screensaver.
That's
the
my favorite
tubes,
game.
trash.
Exactly.
The tubes that go around the screen,
Oh, it's
Yeah.
pipes.
trash.
Pipes?
Excuse me, you're right. They're pipes.
Pipes, trash. Maze
Pipes,
was where it was at.
Maze, like if I was at the school and one of the computers had the pipes instead of the maze, I would go in there, log in under my school account, and change the screensaver to maze.
Exactly. That's strong.
Anyway, continue.
No, I was just about to say, given our obvious distinguished pedigree when it comes to video games,
I think we've shown off our credentials.
I think we've managed to.
We're official gamers.
We are official elite gamers.
Elite.
Are we huge gamer chads like Henry Cavill?
Yeah.
Break that down for me. What's going on with that?
I'm pretty sure all he did was say that PC was his favorite gaming platform, that he liked gaming more than going out, and that he played Total War.
And so now everybody is saying that he's elite gamer, Chad.
He is the hugest alpha Chad gamer man.
I guess Total War is a bit of a deep pull for that.
Sort of, yeah.
And not like, I'm such a gamer. I play so much Fortnite
Yeah.
and so much Angry Birds.
Yeah.
Angry Birds.
And the Angry
No,
Birds.
it's Angry Birds 2 now.
You're making me tired.
Right.
There's a second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Angry Birds games.
Yeah, sure.
Remember
It's
Angry
great.
Birds Star Wars?
Yeah, I remember Angry Birds Star Wars. Remember all those shorts? Remember the movie?
I do.
They did do a movie.
My niece and
did do a
nephew,
movie.
they watched so many Angry Birds shorts on our Netflix account when they would come to visit.
You know,
Oh, so you get suggested all those Angry Birds shorts.
No, we
now.
made their own account so that they would,
Oh, okay.
or their own sign in so that they had their recommends and I still had stuff like Daredevil.
Yeah. Well, actually, Pieman bringing up the more recent story sort of allows me to bring up a group question about what is the more recent games that you are playing right now, and how are you feeling about the current zeitgeist of video games in popular culture? Because it is pop culture now.
Yeah.
It's completely taken over.
Oh, it was always pop
It was,
culture.
yeah, I suppose, yeah. It was always on its way. For me, I am currently, newer video games. I recently just beat Pokemon Sword, which means I'm a stupid poopy because I liked it.
Yeah,
I had a good time.
you like having your half a game that it wasn't made right, and I don't like it.
Look, they're reusing assets from pre-existing games.
They're using the same models from Diamond to Pearl or something. I don't know.
They are factually not doing.
They are. I believe they are using the 3D models that they made before. Still,
Some of them.
Yeah.
they had to make
many
new
of them needed to be updated.
They're reusing the models from Crystal, Pokemon Crystal.
Or you can look right here at the math. My favorite I've seen of that so far is how somebody did a wire mesh of the Pokemon now.
and it's missing like 14 polygons.
Right. And then I saw a counter to that, which is somebody just being exhausted by this at this point.
Yeah.
Like the person that was all like, guys, are we really doing this? Are we really?
Someone's gonna make a documentary and title it "A Polygon Too Far."
Gone too far.
Yep.
And then they'll do a switcheroo on us and make it all about Polygon.
No, what I really liked was in the Pokemon subreddit, there was all kinds of posts being like, this Chinese knockoff unofficial Pokemon game has better animations than the official Pokemon games.
Oh boy.
And I'm just like, yeah, that game also has like 5 Pokemon in it. And also it's illegal.
Yes. It's super illegal.
And in China, they don't have to pay their workers, so
That's true.
they just keep them working until they die, and then they replace them.
Yeah.
So
So,
Isn't that what we do here?
yes,
yes.
except now more and more like
Except
news outlets are finding out about it, and they don't like that.
yeah.
So, going back to Pokemon and stuff, I actually really like Sword. I haven't played Shield, which I'm assuming it's gonna probably be the same thing. I think it's safe to assume that if I like Sword, I'm gonna like Shield.
Bold.
I actually recently beat Devil May Cry 5 for myself, and I had an absolute blast with that. I haven't been playing too many new video games that have upset me or disappointed me, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, that's probably because I'm already making pre-existing judgments towards other video games.
Yeah, you haven't bought a live service game yet.
Yeah.
So
The last
that
one,
probably helps.
the last
You
one
didn't
that
get
I
Anthem?
bought was Overwatch, and I haven't played that in so long.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I would say probably one of my favorite new games is probably Death Stranding.
Yeah.
And I'm one of like...
Oh, that's because you're a Kojima fanboy.
Yeah.
You only like it because Kojima worked on it.
No, I feel so seen and exposed right now.
Everybody knows that because Metal Gear Solid's your favorite franchise, automatically you were gonna just praise and praise.
You're
and
No.
biased.
Stop disrobing my defenses.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah. But I legitimately had a really great time, and even after I beat it, I found myself going back to it. I find it to be a very sort of calming experience of a game. Even the parts where it feels like where the situation is dire and you have to have boss fights and you're supposed to be focused in on edge, even moments like that, I felt there was an underlying melancholy that I enjoyed throughout the entirety of the game. For me, personally.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you, Pieman, you kept asking me questions like, hey, how are things going with the funky fetus today?
How's Norman Reedus' fun delivery adventures going?
Pretty fun.
I wanted to ask you something about the game. There's a drinking mechanic.
Yes.
You drink your water.
Yes.
And there's a urination mechanic where you
There
make your
is.
pee bombs.
Yes.
Can you, get dehydrated and have really dark urine bombs? Or drink a lot and have nice clear urine bombs?
So we would drink every time we woke up in the morning, we would down literally 3 cans of Monster every time. Because it gives you a more temporary stamina if you do that. So we never got dehydrated because we drank a lot and
You
constantly.
just slam those monsters.
However, the P bombs already look like dark orange.
Oh,
Yeah.
so there's not a gradient.
Well, it's probably because you're drinking 3 Monster energy drinks in the morning each day.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Every single day.
all those diuretics are just flushing you out real hard.
Yeah.
It was.
I'm concerned because I think Sam Bridges might have diabetes.
Wow, there's a lot of solutes in this.
Yeah. So before Death Stranding, I think one of my more favorite recent games was actually the new God of War.
Yeah.
I really, really love the story in that, and the combat is very clean.
Oh,
It's
come on,
very
bro.
strong.
That's like a year old. That's
I
like
know.
ancient, man.
Nobody plays
It actually kind of feels like it's been a while since that came out.
right.
Yeah.
I'm eagerly waiting to see where the next one
It
goes.
won last year's Game of the Year.
Yeah.
It did.
So that should tell you how old it is.
Boy.
That means it officially got over, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm going and what I'm getting on through.
Mm-hmm.
So what about you two?
So for like recent stuff, as in like the past couple of years.
Sure.
Sure.
The last 2 years at most, I'd say.
Because
Because you've been playing a lot of games. I'm sure at least one of them you liked.
yeah, I do
mean,
play.
you beat a couple of them.
Yeah.
so-
I do play a lot of video games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with.
Yeah.
It's totally fine.
We're not all like terrible people now because we like video games.
Just finish your homework before you do your video games.
Yes.
That's right.
And make your bed.
Yes.
But yeah,
Kiss
I
your
mean,
mom.
I think it was was it 2017 when Persona 5 came out?
Oh gosh, it's actually been out for a little
Yeah, I
bit.
was gonna say I think Persona 5 came out.
Jingles is gonna look it
It
up.
feels like it's
Was
been
it
a little while.
2016?
No, it was not 2016.
No.
I have no sense of time anymore, so
Ugh.
But anyway, tell us about Persona 5.
It's really good.
What do you like about it?
Well, he doesn't want to get killed by Atlas, so he
Oh,
can only
yeah.
say something.
By the Atlas ninjas.
you can't talk about it.
No, it's just everything about that game. That was like one of like the best games I've played like in recent like years. Like the story is really good. I really like all the characters.
Oh yeah, it was 2016.
It was
September 15th,
2016.
Wow.
Oh, man.
So it was at the very butt end of 2016.
Wow, yeah.
Judges, can we get a ruling?
Ruling?
They say they'll allow it.
I'll allow it because it feels recent enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm
It
like
did come out on the PS3 as well as the PS4.
It did, yeah.
That's funny.
but yeah, no, it's just the story of that game is really good. I really like the characters. The combat's really good. It's just really high quality all around.
It's a good game. I think my personal favorite thing about Persona 5, because the music's amazing.
It is probably the best soundtrack of a game I've ever heard.
Ever.
I actually think it's like my number one favorite.
Grant Kirkhope trash.
No.
But the visual design for
Yeah.
like the UI and
Yeah.
other visual things,
It's
and how
full of
striking.
personality.
They
Yeah.
found a way to make browsing menus fun.
Yeah,
Right.
and during the victory screens when everything gets cut down to just 3 colors,
Yeah.
and it looks so great. I'm like 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful game.
Yeah, and like a lot, particularly with like 3 and 4, like they've always kind of been like color coded games.
Yeah.
But they really take off and run away with it in 5.
Nice. Because, what was it? Primary colors for each one was, Persona 3 was blue,
Yeah.
Persona 4 was yellow, and P5 is red and black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
red in particular.
Red
Yeah.
in particular.
Big striking bold red.
Baby,
Yeah.
baby, baby, baby. Baby, 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 baby. I can't believe we got that in Smash.
Yeah, I'm glad we did.
I'm not gonna complain.
My mind can't even wrap around to that. What was it? Like P4 has like a really nice sort of jazzy sort of number, or what? Because P4 what actually feels really relaxed for a battle scene.
Yeah. Its music was a lot more kind of laid back.
Yeah.
And like kind of like happy almost.
Yeah.
Like kind of upbeat like I don't want to say I don't think slice of life is like the right term, but like yeah, it's a much more like upbeat like soundtrack.
Yeah. And then Persona 5 kicks in the door with some hard jazz. I love it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, the P4 or the P3 soundtrack is kind of all over the place, but it's pretty good.
Right on. That's the one where you shoot yourself in the head, right?
Yeah.
That's the only way.
It's just the only way.
It's funny how like that's the method of summoning your persona. That's the one that stuck around the most, even though it's the only game that did it.
Yep. Shoot yourself.
Dude, it's you shooting yourself. People are going to talk about that for a while.
Yeah,
That is true.
Hey, did you know that you get superpowers if you blow your own brains out?
Yeah.
Really?
That reminds me of Power Trip by Spaz Kid.
Uh,
You stare into the sun to get superpowers. And then he did. He stared directly into, and then he got superpowers.
That's why our parents always told us not to.
Because we would get superpowers and be too strong.
they were holding you back.
Hey, do you ever feel like your parents are holding you back?
Yeah.
No, don't.
You ever feel like your humanity is holding you back?
You just cast aside your humanity.
And then in P5, they have masks that you rip off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is my favorite version of like doing that. Because in 4, it was you just kind of had like a ghost card, and then it summoned your persona.
Yeah. There's something about it feels like because no video game franchise is complete as it's going along. There are going to be alterations in themes and in stories as the series goes along. But Persona feels like this really interesting sort of egg, where between 3, 4, and 5, each time they reintroduce your method of summoning your persona, it feels like that they really sort of nailed the theme of what a persona is in P5. Specifically with, like, I am thou, thou art I. It's supposed to be this manifestation of your inner self. So when you rip off the mask, you're supposed to be revealing your true inner self. And I just think that's more thematically consistent than other stuff. And I think it's really interesting. I think it's very cool. Yeah. I also think P5 is really neat, and I'm sad I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, the other 2 games also explain personas as being kind of like that.
Yeah.
As, like, being kind of like shields almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that you tear off the mask and then your manifestation appears and stands next to you.
Stands by you.
Stands by you.
Yes.
And helps you fight.
Yeah.
Merci, Bruce!
But where do you stand when the fighting is happening?
So if I stand beside Josh...
Yep.
By that logic.
Yep.
That seems right.
No, Persona is the most unapologetically like JoJo thing.
That's really fair enough.
Like out there, like even like that's a major source of inspiration for personas.
Yeah,
fair enough. I like it though. I like how, and I like how so far it seems like every single between the 3 of them, P3, P4, P5, PB and J. How
PQ, PQ2,
PQ2, PQ? No.
P4A, P4AU.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Each of the 10,000 circuit breakers on your circuit breaker module are marked in a specific color.
So, well, now you made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry.
After I had to do PB and J. No, I was just going to mention that I like how each time they bring in personas, there is a theme to those personas, right? Like, because obviously in P5, the main character personas are all based on thieves.
Sort of. Like the new ones are.
Yeah, yeah, because they have that going on for them, where they're all based on famous outlaws.
Sort of.
In 5, yes.
Yeah.
That's
in 5
what I mean, specifically in 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't know about the theming, or if there even is any in 4 or 3.
There is absolutely no themes at all in 3 and 4. No themes.
The themes are more come into play with the story rather than the personas. Like the personas are more based on like mythological like entities.
Yeah.
And they're based on a lot of different
Sure.
ones.
And
like
all
they
the crossover monsters from the Shin Megami Tensei series.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so the theming more comes into play with the stories.
Don't you love Devil Survivor?
I don't think
Almost as much as I like Resident Evil Gun Survivor.
Hey, how do you like how Persona started off as a spin-off and is now its own thing that has its own spin-offs?
Ugh.
Soon, those spin-offs will usurp Persona.
They will grow too
They,
strong.
they chopped off the Shin Megami Tensei part of it
Yeah.
and have made Shin Megami Tensei continue as its own thing,
Yeah.
and Persona continue as its own
Yeah.
thing. There's still crossover there. But
Oh, yeah. Pieman, I thought Resident Evil was your favorite series. For the longest time.
It's never been my favorite series.
Whoa.
He just knows a
I
lot
just
about it.
know
and
you
likes
know
it
a
a
lot
lot.
about it.
I like Resident Evil a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
It's never been my favorite.
So you're telling me that you don't like Resident Evil 6, the best Resident Evil game? That's too bad.
Were you done with what you were saying?
Sorry.
did you have another question?
No, I was just opening up that for discussion.
Oh.
Just like I like there was a lot of things I really liked about P5.
Yeah.
But Pieman, if there are any games new that you're playing recently, which ones are they?
Well, you're in luck, because I just got Mech Warrior 5.
Ooh. Tell me more.
It could have used some more time in the oven. No, it's been kind of cool. The mech combat's a lot of fun, and it's pretty much what I wanted as far as that goes, but the game has a lot of design and programming issues that could have used a little more work.
So what is it like Armored Core or?
No, it's not like Armored Core at all.
Really?
Yeah, well, the Mech Warrior games, big, slow, stompy robots that are just slogging along, shooting at stuff, and
Okay.
you have to turn the legs independently of the torso
Oh,
Sounds miserable.
to position yourself. You get used to it. It's
Yeah.
not that hard
That
to get
sounds
used to.
kind of interesting to watch.
Yeah.
I'd watch you play it.
But yeah, and the weapons are great. It feels great to shoot big old autocannons and blast up with lasers and
Yeah.
rain missiles down. But the spawning and the enemy AI, well, actually just AI in general, is really bad.
Nice.
Did they finally give you another game to use that Steel Battalion
Yeah.
cockpit
Yep,
controller?
I broke out my Steel Battalion controller,
Yeah.
hooked that up, it totally
That-
still works.
Because that like $1,000 monstrosity needs another game.
Yes.
I knew a guy who had the Steel Battalion controller.
Nice. That's awesome.
He never figured out how to get it to work.
Well, who really knows how to make a tank work?
I
Who
don't.
really knows?
I have no idea.
No, the short fallings are that like your allies will just charge headlong into enemy fire without any thought for themselves,
Sure.
and enemies will just spawn right in your butthole. So that's always great.
That's the worst place for them.
'Cause,
Yeah,
you know,
they shouldn't be there.
You'll get some mech will spawn directly behind you and just get a free like 3 PPC shots directly into your butt.
Nice.
So that can make missions difficult.
I bet.
So cool. It's some small XCOM stuff going on there.
So
Where
hopefully
it could all just go sideways.
Hopefully things will get patched. Fingers crossed. But knowing Piranha Games, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
So here's a question, because you like mech games.
I like mechs.
You like mechs.
Let's clear the air on
if
that.
you could have your own mech game, what would be the kind of things that you would need for it?
What do you mean? What would I need?
Like certain building mechanics, like how in depth does it go into customizing your robo?
Bits and pieces of every mech game that
Would
you've
you-
enjoyed so far.
Would you need something like when you destroy certain mechs, you collect certain parts that you can then switch out onto your mech? How
would
would the
you like?
combat play? Would it
Yeah.
be slow, sloggy, or would you like faster ones?
I don't know. I've always liked the slow slog of Mech Warrior, but I've also always enjoyed the much more fast-paced sort of boost and jump jetty kind of thing you get with Armored Core.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I'd really put it in that
Mm-hmm.
that spectrum, but a lot of mech games do have a lot of great customization, and I like the Mech Warrior games because you can customize not only your weapons loadout, but how much armor you put on different parts of your mech.
Right.
I like that a lot.
You can load up on extra armor,
Yeah.
on certain bits, as long as you don't go over your tonnage limit.
Yes.
So
Don't go over your tonnage limit.
that's
Yeah.
cool. I really did like the Armored Core games because you can go out and hunt for parts.
Oh,
So that's pretty cool.
That sounds pretty cool.
I just remembered an excellent question that Josh posed on me quite a ways back that I feel like is in serious need of review.
Mm-hmm.
That I also feel like needs to be posed upon anybody that's listening right now.
Yeah.
And that is,
Anybody that's listening.
you now have this incredible power to draw one single game mechanic
Jeez.
into real life.
Oh, okay.
One game mechanic to bring into real life. What is it?
I know what I want.
Do you already know?
I already know.
That's great. All right, I'm gonna think on mine a little
it's
bit.
gonna be stupid,
but I'm gonna do it. Don't even. I say squash to everybody else.
All right.
You do it. I'm gonna think on mine a little bit. You go first.
Yeah, I have to think about mine.
So what I want is I want to be able to go into life and hit the tilde key and bring down the developer console.
Yeah. Bring out console
You
commands.
want mastery of Chim?
Yeah. I want to start putting in codes with little brackets and underscores. I want to turn on Saber Realistic Combat.
Yeah.
Yes.
So all right. So you're at the DMV. It's been a while.
No clip.
No.
And you would definitely 100% have the code to get into the cheats menu be help us OB1.
Yes. Well, unless you're playing the multiplayer,
Yeah.
then it's actually I don't remember what the multiplayer one was. It was different though.
I love it. Just no clip. But when you no
Console
clip,
commands
you
is
have
good.
to stiff up. Like,
No, yeah, I don't move.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm monopose.
Yeah, you're floating forward. So, all right. Well, how about this? You're at. How do you use that outside of that sort of situation? Like, you're at home. You just bought 3 manga. You're sitting there. You're about ready to read it, and then you pull up console commands.
I'll put in. I think I'll put in. I'll turn off enemy AI so that nobody knows where I am or what I'm doing. I can just focus on reading.
Well, you also wouldn't even have to buy the manga. You could just spawn in items.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I could just spawn in some
Slash give space.
Give USD bracket 10 bracket.
It feels like such a cheat answer to the question, but I love it.
It is.
Yeah,
It's a
it
huge
is
That's
absolutely
great.
a cheat answer.
I love it.
I love it.
Pull
No.
up console commands. That's too
So
strong.
I'll provide a big air quotes more conventional answer to this, while you two are still thinking, and that is I'm torn between two. I'm torn between the ability to parry damage in real life.
You can parry damage from that car accident
can-
if you
Yes.
parry the right window.
If a car swerves at me, I want to be able to turn and then know the frame data ahead of time, and then just parry every single hit of the car that's hitting me.
You'd have to practice getting hit by a car. You
I
know
would
that,
have
right?
to get practice getting hit by a car.
Yeah, well, because the consequence is you die.
Yeah. And also...
No,
The
it's
second one-
fine. You only take 30% damage.
That's right. Yeah, that's if I'm blocking.
So we're talking like...
No, that's how much damage
that-
a car hit
yeah.
does.
That car hit does
I was gonna
nice.
say that's some like Yakuza numbers.
Well,
Yeah.
how much
where
shit
like
does
a
car do?
gunshot does like 2 damage to you.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
But it stuns you super hard, so you have to
Yeah.
mash
It's
getting
a
up.
lot of stun.
So the second thing that I want to do is the ability to have a new game plus.
Yeah,
New Game Plus.
That's a strong pick.
yeah.
pretty strong pick.
If when I die, I want things to fade out, turn to black, and then I want it to say you can now play as your descendant, and then my new game plus.
It
Starts.
says easy mode is now selectable.
Easy mode is now selectable.
Yeah, exactly.
That also begs the question: what do you take with you into New Game Plus?
Everything that I had before,
All of your stuff.
all my skills, everything. That's how new game plus works. So, I'm torn between being able to parry all damage away or new game plus. That's what I'm torn to.
Yeah.
And I might just choose New Game Plus.
I like New Game Plus. That's
New
a
Game
good
Plus
idea.
is really good.
That
Yes.
is pretty great.
Or what about you guys?
Opening console commands is really good too.
I would think.
I'm gonna come back to Pieman, by the way. And
Yeah.
you gotta have a real
I'll
answer.
come up with a real answer.
I think it'd be fun and also kind of useful if you could have like the merchant buy sell of like anyone anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh!
So you could go into like a Texaco.
Yes.
You could go into like a car shop.
Yes.
Anywhere, and then you get buy sell, and you can buy anything they have in their inventory or any junk you have. You can sell to them.
I'm gonna
Yes.
sell my old clothes at this
Yeah.
Texaco.
I don't
Sounds
really
really
need
good,
this
actually.
beanbag anymore, so I'll just go down to Texaco and sell it to them.
Yeah.
For $800.
Yeah, because there's nothing worse than having junk you don't want anymore, but you can't get rid of it.
That's
Yep.
right. That's pretty strong, actually. That's a really good utility one.
In addition to that, being able to just like add anything that you need into an inventory, so you don't have to physically carry it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically, that items, the same type items stack.
Yes.
Yes.
Type of item stack.
Yeah, so it'd come with like the inventory system.
Yes.
Yeah. The implication therein that it does come with
Like
the
also, in addition to that, also being able to pickpocket from a distance.
Yeah.
And just like
Being able to pick
Sell-
somebody within
sell
like
somebody
200.
something and then steal your stuff. Back.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is
auto-sort
getting really
your stuff.
strong.
I can just automatically pick somebody within 200 meters of me and just empty their inventory.
You know, like 76.
That's super strong. Like
Yeah.
the buy sell mechanic. Like, what if you end up going to like England or something?
Yeah.
And that still carries over.
Doesn't matter.
You need some extra cash on you. You can just take some old clothes and junk you don't need and sell it for some cash.
That's really strong. That's
Yeah.
really strong. Do you got one, bro?
I do.
Yes.
I want the ability to abuse iframes. I'd like to be able to, like, if somebody's shooting at me, I kick the wall real hard so I hurt my toe.
Yeah.
And while my iframes are still up, I can just, like, run at him or something.
Bro, you won't need to worry about that if you could just parry the damage.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to take the time to learn how to parry the damage and get shot that many times.
Okay, fair enough.
I also want to add on to mine.
Yes.
Somewhere in the world, but you don't really know where, there's a merchant that will buy a specific item from another shop for the higher price than what you paid for. But you
That's-
have to figure out where that shop is.
That's strong. That's really strong. Like you buy, like let's say, like IKEA furniture, like
Yeah.
in America, you go to England and you could sell it.
Yeah,
for
there's
way
a shop
more.
there that'll buy it for like 25%
and he's
extra.
he's a really eccentric, like hole in the wall kind of guy.
I love IKEA furniture.
Ah, welcome, traveler. What treasures have you brought me? Well, I got this really good desk. That's pretty good. Ah, yes. I'll buy it at a high price. Yes. And then he sticks out his like weird twisted hand that's somehow moist and just dumps coins in your hand.
Yeah.
iframes is pretty strong though.
You know, I feel like also universal currency for anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would be great.
we all buy and sell in Gil.
Yeah.
Or money.
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 What's your favorite made up video game currency?
Oh, I already have the answer to this.
Which one's that one?
Simoleons.
Where was that one from?
The Sims.
Was it?
Yeah. You get simoleons. I like it because it makes me sound like a rich white oil baron. Yes, get me more simoleons.
Sir, we're running low on simoleons out there.
Why are we running so low on simoleons?
Well, sir, the local other rival barons are trying to buy up your land.
Well, buy up their land instead.
I have plenty of simoleons.
I have many simoleons. Simoleons is my favorite fake currency.
I think my favorite fake currency might be money from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Spelled with a U.
It's just with a
It's
U.
money.
Money.
I want money.
Or Poke. Just because as a kid, for the longest time, I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
Like, I just saw the symbol and I was all like, I have $3,200?
And you found out it was basically yen.
Yeah, right?
It is basically yen.
It's basically in.
I feel like the conversion rate is 1-to-1.
So what about your favorite video game currency?
I think either Gil or Whoopie Whoopie.
Whoopie Whoopie is strong.
Yes.
It has such a wide pedigree because it's also in the films.
Hey.
Yeah.
Do you want a manga? Whoopie Whoopie.
Vonia whoopie whoopie.
So, what about you, Pyman? Going back to the first one.
Okay.
Video game mechanic and then favorite video game currency.
So for my mechanic, I've decided that I want to be able to redistribute my stat points.
That's really good.
That's
really good.
Strong.
That's actually really good.
Currently, the investment in the tree I'm in is not working out, so I need to go redistribute those points.
Yeah.
Try something else out.
To reallocate your stats.
I need to edit my build.
It's actually really good.
What if, holy cow. Alright, so imagine that we all have these in real life. So we all have these individual game mechanics that we have in real life.
Yeah.
What if real life had patches?
Oh no!
Oh man.
Because then Pyman would have to change his stat alignment almost all the time.
Yeah, the new patch for life maladapted my stat alignment.
For outside.
So easily.
Yeah, and then what if there were new restrictions on New Game Plus that I found out about later? That's all like, no, you really can't carry all your inventory into New Game Plus.
I'd like to think that the new patch would say that you get all your items, but you start off with 0 experience and 0 money.
That sucks. That's bull. I don't want that.
Or like in Majora's...
So you'll have your items, but you won't actually be able to use some of them because your stats.
You
aren't
also
high
lose,
enough.
but you also lose your key items like any other.
Yeah.
Can I at
Game
least
Plus.
keep my experience points?
No.
Just to use them up for later?
No.
No, he can keep his key items, but he loses all of his consumables.
Oh, that'd be.
He keeps the containers, but they're all empty.
But what if they end up changing up your iframe data? Like, you used to be able to hold for like 3 seconds, and
Well,
now
you
you
see-
can do 2.5.
With patches like that, it's gonna feel the same anyway. Like, the only people that are gonna care are people that read frame data all the time. I'll have what I like to do is I like to feel out like iframes, and usually the iframes usually stay about the same.
You'll just smack yourself in the head really hard and judge how much it's changed.
Yeah,
Now, when you have iframes
like it's
active,
any amount of damage that causes the iframes to start.
So here's my question to you then. If your iframes are active, how do we tell?
You
Like,
blink.
I'll be
You
blinking.
blink in and out of existence.
I was like, do you do that, or you blink red really quick?
No, that's a good question. I feel like going transparent and blinking from transparent to opaque. Just keep doing that. And since it's any amount of damage, what I could do is just have like a needle,
Yeah.
and I just poke myself
Yeah.
whenever I want to activate my iframes.
Yeah, what if the new patch makes it that Josh can't carry as much inventory as he usually can? So he has to make multiple trips to the shop to sell.
It's fair.
That's fair, right? Oh gosh, what if the new patch puts in a bug?
Well, what if the patch increases my inventory?
Exactly.
There's
We
a
don't
patch.
know. We don't know. Like, what if like
Who's determining these patches?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
The developers.
Developers.
Oh yeah.
But I love the idea of the news, like CNN or Fox or whatever. It's
New
all
patch drops today.
like, new patch drops today. For,
No, what if like a patch drops, they like reduce your inventory, but as like an apology gift because of like a glitch from before, you wake up and there's a gift in your room.
Yeah.
It's all
Those
right.
Wake up and there's a gun.
What about people who exploit glitches and then get banned?
Yeah, what happened to them?
Absolutely.
They get they give you the gun so you can deal with that.
They banned them.
But like, but to check it out, like, what if we're all hanging out, then Pyman comes over and he's all like, I don't know about this new patch, guy.
And then we get like an 8-hour Joe Rogan podcast episode talking about the latest patch.
Yes! Thank you. Yes. hey, have you guys seen this new patch? There's going to be this new patch coming out. Jerry, pull up the video of the last patch.
Pull up the video.
Pull up the video.
Pull up the patch notes.
Can you imagine if you didn't know about this patch and then this patch came in? You'd be crazy, right?
What if like real life had like patch note like events like MMOs where it's like they have like a live stream of like the talking about the patches?
Yeah.
That would be the news. That would be the
It
news.
would be the news.
Jagex
Yeah.
Mods here talking about new upcoming patches for RuneScape 3.
I mean, all I would do is I would look online and see if anything affected my iframes, and if the answer is if it's not brought up at all, then I'm like, cool, and then I shut it down because I don't care about anything else. It's just the character that I play as.
And then I would be sitting there complaining to you guys and be all like, can you believe that they'll empty out my containers? Can you believe that? Like, I put all this work into making sure I have appropriate amount of elixirs going into New Game Plus. Because I know I'm going to be a huge baby and I'm not going to be able to last that long.
You will literally be a huge baby.
A huge baby.
And in New Game Plus, do you get to keep all of your stats as you have them, and then you just have access to higher levels?
That's what I want.
Which would then
yeah.
cause higher difficulty enemies
Yeah.
from the very beginning?
Yeah, so you got Dark Souls New Game Plus.
That's what I'm thinking. I got Dark Souls. Or,
so like eventually you'll cap out at 99 everything.
Yeah.
I either want that, or I want it where I reset everything, except, like, I'm cool with going back to level 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I get to keep all my gear.
Yeah.
Or, I lose everything, but I get a special bonus New Game Plus item.
Oh, here's another video game thing that I would like to port over to real life. And that is the ability to buy any article of clothing and it fits you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
Yeah,
size shopping.
I'll take that tuxedo right off the mannequin, thank you.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
That'll be 5 million poke.
Alright, hang on, let me get my buddy. He's gonna sell you a whole bunch of furniture.
Or you do a side quest for him in which he gives it to you at the end.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
there you go.
What if though, like what if in real life you could visibly see a side quest marker over someone's head?
Wait a minute. I think that guy. Yeah. He's got a side quest.
What? Let me see. No, that's a question mark. You need an exclamation point. No,
Yeah.
sorry, main quests are exclamation points. That guy does have a side quest.
Yes.
And plus it kind of helps that he's just sort of squatting over some dirt going, ho hum, where is it?
Oh my, I've lost it. Yes.
And you need to bring him like 5 wolf pelts.
Yeah.
If you were walking down... Yes.
Oh, how about that? You kill an animal and it just like drops the items that you need.
Yeah, and then disappears.
You kill the wolf, it turns into a perfectly tanned hide.
Yeah.
Turns
It
to
disappears. There's like a
wolf
tanned
meat.
hide and a couple wolf feet and some like bones.
And if
Yeah.
you're lucky, it'll also have the very rare drop of a wolf heart that you can sell for high.
I was gonna say wolf gem, but wolf heart's also really good.
Wolf gem!
The wolf heart is a mid-level alchemy ingredient, so you can sell those. You can sell those on the marketplace.
It says Pieman after the last patch, where he adapted himself, he's much better at alchemy now.
Yeah, I put some points into alchemy.
So what happens if like you get mugged? Do you pause the game, reallocate all your stat points into like strength and health, and then take them on?
You can't pause the game mid combat.
No, yeah, you can
okay.
only redistribute your stat points in a town.
No, it's like it's while the dialogue option is up, you pause before combat activates.
I was gonna ask you. It's like, all right, so you have the ability to do that. Can you do that just by yourself menu? Or do you have to go to a special spot?
I have to visit
where
an
you, like,
NPC.
You sit and you kneel before the priestess statue and reallocate your
Either
stats.
that, or you have like a pod in your room that you have to like sleep in.
Yeah. But how does
stat
it work?
pod.
How does it work?
I don't know. I like the idea of going to like a shrine to do it.
Yeah.
But for the ease of convenience, I would like to be able to just do it in my regular stat menu.
Yeah.
But only in like like an inn.
Yeah. I like the idea of if in this world that we live in, we then wouldn't have to worry about getting mugged in like dark alleyways or anything.
Yeah.
Because the only time that you would ever have to fight somebody is in a wide open space, and they're standing there,
Yes.
waiting for you to enter their aggro range.
I was gonna ask you guys. So you're walking down the street. You had to do some like last minute shopping at night. You're walking down the street. You got like your milk or whatever, or in Pieman's case, his ultra rare Bacta tank, and he's walking. And you're walking down the street, and then all of a sudden you hear music. You don't know where it's coming from, but it starts going da 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 da. And as soon as it does that, you see just out of like the bottom of your eye line, you look down and you see and like Chadicles, the last true blade. And there's some guy walking down the street.
Well, first I check to see if I can save, and if not, then I know I'm in combat already.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be like Yakuza combat, where like everybody crowds around you and starts like cheering.
Yeah.
Gotta
would
build
look
your
for that.
meter.
You would look for that. But the moment an opponent's health bar shows up,
Yeah.
that's when I start to worry. Like, I would do my best to get out of there.
Yeah.
Would we in this scenario would we be hard locked into combat until like one of us wins the battle, or are there mechanics that allow you to escape combat?
There are mechanics that would allow you to escape combat. It's an item, but
You throw a Pokédoll at them.
yeah. You either have to throw out an item that distracts them, or you have to use up an item that gets you out of there. Mm-hmm. However, it's a finite item.
Yeah.
Or you have to turn 180, start running while pennies are falling out of your pocket.
Oh yeah. All right, so yeah, here's that. It's either a finite item that you use up, or you lose money.
No, I prefer MMO rules where if you run far enough away, it'll reset aggro and they'll just go back to their standard.
No,
Yeah.
this is a boss fight. This is a boss
okay.
fight.
Well, if it's a boss fight, that makes sense. But you'd be able to tell when a boss fight is coming because
There'd be a cutscene.
there would probably be a cutscene beforehand, and you would find healing items in pots nearby, as well as you can see the boss in the arena before you.
You would have had a chance to restock yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would have had a boss well.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be terrible though? Really scary in this world. You walk into a room, there's a bunch of items.
Yeah.
And you go, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. And
What's
it's a
about
small
to
room.
happen?
It's a small room, and then you could look out into the next room, and it's a big room.
Yeah, you can see the next room over is a big open area.
Yeah, and Chadicles, the last of the true blades, is standing out there just in this wide open intersection.
Yeah, if it was just regular random combat,
Yeah.
I like to think that you could just break line of sight for a couple seconds before they
Yeah.
just give up on you.
Yeah.
And you also see a little ghost silhouette of your last known location.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would.
So that they'll go look over there, and so you can hide behind stuff and get around.
Which one do you feel like you're more comfortable taking the L on? Losing an item, a finite item, or losing money?
I think I can handle losing money, because in this scenario, it's usually a very little amount of money, and also money can be replenished.
Yeah, just go sell some of my junk at Texaco.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd be okay with money too. Over losing an item. Because if this is an item that's super duper useful, chances are it's not going to be all that easy to come across.
You're going to save it till endgame and realize you haven't used it at all and don't need it now.
Yeah. But I've only got 60 potions. I love that. I love the idea of poor Pieman has to constantly be looking up patch notes.
So you can play optimally.
Yeah, I got to look at meta min-maxing guys.
Actually, I was about to ask you, would you try to play optimally, or would you just try to play to your favorite play style?
I think I'd go favorite playstyle for just regular PvE stuff.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, I'll tailor my build to min-max for
There's another mechanic that I would want.
for specific dungeons. I'll
Yes.
min-max.
Yes.
Another mechanic that I would really want is to be able to read books and automatically boost my stats through that.
So you open a
Yeah.
book and it goes,
You want your own copy of the Augma Infinium.
Well, it would be like specific books boost certain stats. Like you read a book, you read Sports Illustrated, and suddenly you're faster and stronger.
Yeah, your athletics go up.
Yes. Like not having to work for it.
Yeah.
Read a Formula One book. Driving increases
Driving
by
increase.
10.
It's like a single pip, but it's still like
But if you get like a novel, then like it increases more, like a couple pips.
no. All books do the exact same amount, except for the mythic books.
Well, then that would make magazines busted because you can go through a magazine in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what if they only like?
No, you don't have to read the whole thing.
You just open it.
You just
open it.
and,
Oh,
and the
I
game
see.
automatically assumes you've read the whole thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Or you eat a giant big challenge burger and it increases your guts.
Oh yeah. What about like health boost?
Challenge burger.
Yeah. Yeah, the Big Bang Burger.
Yeah,
It gives you temporary stat points.
Yeah, like what about like beat 'em up brawler food that like heals you?
Oh yeah.
Like you knock over a trash can and there's a rotisserie chicken in there.
Fully like glazed and fully garnished and everything. I would just scoop that right up and be on my way.
That could be a kind of an off question to that. Like, what video game item would you want to be able to own in real life?
Oh,
Phoenix Downs.
Phoenix Downs?
Phoenix Downs
Maybe.
are very strong.
You need somebody else to like use it on you,
That's true.
That is true.
unless it like automatically shatters upon like.
Bottled fairies.
There you go.
Hey.
Because you don't need anybody else for that.
Yeah.
All you need is yourself.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe you can like talk to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe you can carry more than one bottled fairy.
It's really mad that you put it in a bottle.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to steer clear of weapons.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like fun utility items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the Soliton radar I'd really like to have.
Being able to see the vision cone of any enemy,
Yeah. Yeah.
that would make it a lot easier to get around town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody that isn't me, I can see what they see.
Yes.
That's me personally. What about you?
I think Feor's Wind would actually be like a really neat item to have because
Just
you can just put a teleport point just like at work or something. And instead of having to drive to work, you can just like teleport to there and back.
Cool, I can sleep in 20 minutes more.
Yeah. Well, that would have less utility than, say, like a Wind Waker would.
Yeah.
Because then you can teleport to specific points, whereas with
But you don't get to pick what those points are.
yeah, they get established over time as you go
Yeah.
on. They're usually important points.
Fast
anyway.
travel.
Yeah.
Unlocking fast travel. But with Feor's Wind, you only get one location, and you have to preset it every time.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to teleport back home.
Yeah. Whereas something like the Wind Waker will allow you to go to
Yeah.
multiple different places that are usually pretty important.
Again, we can only critique and go through this because we are pro-elite gamers.
Yeah.
We are the truest pro-elite gamers.
Yes, these brainless what if questions can only be answered by the highest of minds.
So,
Big brain gamers.
big brain gamers. We are all in one collective consciousness, and we are all bad people.
Yes. Because we are gamers and
we are gamers, and we are part of the problem.
Yep.
I don't know what that problem is anymore.
We live in a society.
We sure do.
We sure do. And that society has varying level caps, high level areas
Yes.
that we must be careful.
We're in
Being
a,
able to see the level of your enemy would be really helpful.
Yeah.
That would be.
Oh, I know another, like, instead of Feor's Wind, because...
Yeah.
The directional microphone.
Oh, from MGS.
Yeah, from MGS2.
Nice.
Because that would just be fun.
That would be kind of fun.
Those things do just kind of exist. You
Yeah.
could just go on.
But, like, they're not very good, and they don't, like...
Well, of course not.
Yeah.
No.
Like, one that works, like, clearly like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, super high quality.
You got
That
one.
would-
You got one, Pieman?
oh, yeah, it's rough because there's so many great items.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of
I
really
know.
great
Yeah.
items.
They're all great for keeping your insides on the inside.
I think Chateau Romani milk.
Nice.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah.
Gives you infinite magic for the 3 days or until you reset.
So I'll be topped off for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since
Especially if you've like reallocated into a high level mage build.
Yeah.
yeah,
Heavy mana use. So
That
you
would
need
that
one.
would be busted.
that would be
They
busted.
would have to patch that later.
You can't use Meteor when you have Chateau Romani.
Yeah. However, you can cast Fireball as many times as you want.
Oh, absolutely. You can cast 5th level Fireball.
Yeah.
You could also specifically be like the Final Fantasy XIV Black Mage, where you just switch to like Ice mode, and that you just get all your mana back in a few seconds.
Yeah.
But then you have to spend all of it on like your actual good spells.
Yeah.
Can you imagine running into that one guy who only casts Fireball?
Well, you'd cast like 2, and then you'd be done.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in real life.
You wouldn't be able to do much after that.
So he throws 2 fireballs at you, then takes a swig.
Yeah.
and takes a swig. Actually, I see it as more of like a D&D Fireball. Like
Yeah.
he's mastered everything that he could into training hard and mastering the varying degrees of Fireball.
Yeah.
So he can cast like a little tiny explosion, or he can nuke the whole city.
I mean,
Yeah.
Fireball's a great spell.
Fireball is a really
It
good
is
spell.
really good.
It's always handy when
You know the guys that invented Fireball thought that it was OP when they first made it?
I believe
They're
that.
like, this is probably too broken, but it hasn't really changed since its inception.
No, not really. It's been nice and consistent for following generations.
Yep.
So I can't help but wonder, like, I make the joke of like, yeah, we're pro elite gamers, but I sit here and I think about the like the common cultural zeitgeist surrounding video games and stuff, and as a positive note, I always think it's so fascinating to see where video games keep trying to go. And it's usually the other weirdos and auteurs that are trying to get it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Maybe that'll be for another thing. Maybe that'll be for another time.
Well, video games are extremely broad subjects.
Yeah.
It's
I
true.
mean, I mean, sometimes it's
think
just fun to shoot the air about it.
I think we've answered all the important questions.
I think as elite pro gamers, we have answered all questions.
We've gone galaxy brain level.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that Smider never did actually ask me what games I've been playing recently that I like.
He didn't. I thought
I'm
it was
sorry.
I assumed
Oh,
you weren't
I
playing any.
completely forgot, bro.
Oh,
what
what
games
are
have
you
you
doing?
been playing?
I thought he was making a joke.
No, I'm sorry. I completely forgot. What games have you been playing lately?
So I don't play video games.
I know.
Uh,
You've really been pouring into Minecraft, though.
I've been doing that because I've been playing with friends. That's not a recent game though. It's
Sure.
a really, really, really old game.
Sure.
That's trash. But it's not trash. It's a fun game. But I only play it with friends. I wouldn't play it by myself. You mentioned Pokemon Sword. I think that's amazing. I love it. I haven't played Pokemon in a very long time. I've been missing out on a lot of generations.
Right.
Watching you play through this newest one has been really great, and I've been severely enjoying it.
Yeah.
I love that a whole lot.
Yeah.
But one that I'm recently, because you said the God of War game, which is great. P5 is amazing. Mech Warrior, I assume, is good.
It could be better.
It could really be better.
But Spider-Man for the PS4.
That's been a lot of fun.
It's been
It's a
really
strong pick.
good. As a old and deep Spider-Man fan, and by old and deep I mean since the 90s. So yeah. Yeah, it's been a really amazing video game. It's probably the best Spider-Man video game ever made.
Ever?
River
Yeah,
City.
beating out Spider-Man 2 for the PS2.
River City Girls.
River City Girls has been amazing. We should probably beat that.
We should probably beat that soon.
But I love it. It's cute. and
Stop
it's
being
got-
cowards and defeat the enemy.
That's been amazing.
Yeah.
Those have been kind of the games that I've been playing.
Yeah.
I played League a little bit. I wouldn't say it's my favorite though.
Nah, fair
It's
enough.
fun though.
Fair enough.
But yeah, those,
You
those
did
are my-
Overwatch with Pieman and Josh that one time.
That was
yeah,
a long time
That was
ago.
a million years ago, bro.
Yeah, it sure was.
But yeah, those are my point. Those
Yeah.
are my picks.
No, those are strong. Those are all really strong.
Oh, sorry. Also, the Death Stranding.
yes.
I like all of the commercials and all the stuff, and knowing that Kojima was pretty much going to have free reign over his studio and do whatever he wants. I wasn't sure I was going to like the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came out and I played it and I enjoyed it. And I loved it, actually.
Yeah.
I think the game is amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a lot of complaints about it. But whenever I hear those complaints, I'm just like, I didn't have any problems with that.
Yeah.
It's been interesting to hear people be all like, oh, I keep falling over, or, like, being imbalanced, or, like, this and that. And I'm all like, I have never fallen over while playing that game. Not once.
Yeah.
Also, stop over encumbering yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even when I'm over encumbered,
Yeah.
like, I just know to,
Not
hold my straps and not fall down.
right.
So, yeah. Death Stranding has been amazing. And
Yeah.
Get all that extra stamina from downing all the monsters.
That's right.
That's
Drink all the
right.
Monster Energy drinks
That's
and
right.
throw your pee at the enemy.
That's right. So, with that last bit of note, for anybody that's still listening, congratulations.
There's no one.
There's
played
for
yourself?
well, I was about to say congratulations. You've now completed our side quest of listening through this.
Listen, here's your 600 experience points.
We already split your fan base in half with our Star Wars episode. Do you really think anyone's listening now?
Of course not.
I appreciate that one last person that's listening. Now all of this experience is yours.
They're not
Now
really
let's-
listening. They're like in a coma.
Yeah.
Now we
Just
need to
playing
test that
background.
one viewer and see what it takes for them to leave.
Exactly. We'll find out one day. But thank you very much for joining us. This is that I personally had a lot of fun going on through this again.
Me too.
And who knows what we'll talk about next week or the week thereafter. But just know that we're going to be extremely nerdy about it. We're going to probably get really excited about it.
Yes.
And I hope you guys enjoy being along for the ride with us. Once again, we're the Roscoe Brothers. This has been the Mythos Podcast. I'm Smarter Roscoe.
I am Jingles Roscoe.
With our good buddies Pieman
Goodbye, friends.
and our good buddy Josh.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Good night.